personality Bill Keeler is no longer on the air. He was fired yesterday over a contract.
Father O'Shaughnessy?
Yes.
Great Paulwell in Lynchburg, Virginia. How are you?
Good morning. Go to hell!
Free your mind.
Well, let's see. We have Megan out today. We have Andrew out today, and are blessed to have the man with the plan, Jeff Manaski, back in here. You're on that mic. There we go. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. It's always a pleasure to be back. I will tell you, I did leave the plan on my kitchen table, unfortunately, but I've got most of it up here.
Okay, perfect.
So
The plan, yeah.
and I'll tell you, I never missed you so much as I did last week.
Oh, it had to be terrible last week.
Oh boy, I'll tell you, I never gave.
For those that don't know, Jeff is you took this moment to say, I want to just work a very difficult job, but mindless job, not have to worry about all the things in radio that you've only done since you've been out of high school. And now it's FedEx for you.
It is FedEx for me, and you should appreciate your delivery driver, especially what we or they went through last week. Because, boy, I'll tell you, it's a jungle out there.
It had to be awful. First of all, I got to tell you, you can't, some of these streets in Utica,
Yeah.
you can't go down, if you have a car, you can't, two cars barely fit down the street. I imagine if you're driving a FedEx truck.
Yeah, you can barely get the truck or a UPS truck or what is it, DSL or whatever they are. And
U.S.
I'm
Postal Service.
And the Postal Service as well. There's a couple postal carriers that I run into routinely on my route, and we shoot the breeze when we get a moment sometimes. But, yeah, the working outside thing is great when it's not this time of year. You know,
This is awful.
10 months out of the year, it's great.
Positive. Easy ride in this morning. Simple today. Yesterday and even Saturday, both pretty, although we got snow out of nowhere. I mean, I'm sure some areas got hit harder than we did, but snow out of nowhere. But there was a lot of eave melting going on.
Yeah.
Eaves. And that's going to happen big time today because we're going up into the mid-40s today.
And as a matter of fact, if it still holds true, because, you know, these forecasts change every 30 minutes or so, but I want to say Tuesday, Wednesday, the low temp is above freezing. So we are going to get some melt off.
Yeah. So, and actually, we've extended now, this could change at any minute, right?
Yeah.
You're right. Tonight's low will be 37. Tomorrow night's low, 34. Wednesday's low, right around freezing. And then Thursday night, it cools back off again a bit. We'll be in the low 30s, but still.
That's not bad.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
But you're talking today, 46, tomorrow, 41, 38 on Wednesday, and rain and 44 on Thursday. So 4 days of pretty decent melting going on. Now, that could also cause a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it can. And I think we saw over the weekend Barneveld, the firehouse there, collapsed.
Well,
now, I think they knew it was coming because reports
got everything out.
They got everything out. Yeah. So
here's what, and there have been a couple of these that we have to worry about. In a second, we're going to talk to Sheriff Mashel about it. A lot of these farmers are really struggling trying to get the snow off their outbuildings.
Oh, yeah.
And in western New York, several cows killed after the barn they were in collapsed early Sunday morning, yesterday. The Volunteer Fire Company of Western says the call came in just after 6:30 Sunday morning. The farm on McCormick Road, this according to WKTV, once firefighters arrived, they began to dig through the debris to try and rescue any of the cattle that were trapped. Some of the cattle were able to walk out on their own, while others were found dead. So it's a major loss for the farmer, but there are a lot of them out there right now that are in a very tough position. We'll talk to Sheriff Mayfield about that coming up in a few minutes. And here's the other part. With all the snow that you probably still have on your own roof, as this begins to melt, some of that ice can get in and get underneath shingles and that sort of thing, so you can get a little roof leakage during this type of there's a lot of snow out there.
I know. It's been a while since we've seen a winter like this, right?
Yeah.
Somebody said to me, you catch all these, everybody's got their little anecdotes, their little lines that they throw out there.
I feel like we're all modeling ourselves after President Trump now.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is the worst ever, the best ever.
Believe me, they
It's
tell me all the
never
time.
been like this before.
Never seen anything like it before.
No.
But somebody said to me, what was it? The storm we got right in January when we started the new year, that we got more snow in 3 days than we had gotten in the last 2 years or something like that.
I think that's probably true.
That could be, yeah, because we got pounded right to start 2025.
Think about Valentine's Day last year. People were outside. It was like 60 degrees.
Oh, was it? I don't even remember that.
Even when you get into early April, remember that was the eclipse and people were out in shorts.
Oh, I do remember that.
So I'm just saying we have not experienced anything. There was just no snowmobiling last year.
Let me throw a plug in here, and I'll warn you. I'll do it a
by the
couple
way,
times.
in April, no snow up in Old Forge. There was no snow up there because that's where we went to see the eclipse.
Tonight, umpiring classes.
How is that rolling?
So it's tonight's the first one.
Okay.
And I don't know. I've seen some text messages that we got a handful of new guys or gals coming in, some new folks. And again, it's men and women. I encourage the younger crowd, especially if maybe you played Legion ball or high school ball. We need people who are still in that rhythm. They still know the lingo. They still play. They still are familiar with the flow of the game. I mean, we'll take anyone, don't get me wrong, and we'll train you. But I just think it's an advantage if you're stepping in where you're still in that flow, in that rhythm. Now, I mentioned the classes tonight. Why did I mention that? Because an umpire.
Well, I think they did.
Oh, because I did a game last year. My first game last year was March 28th, and I can tell you this. It did feel like March 28th.
Yeah.
It was cold.
We did have some colder weather. But we just didn't have any of the snow.
Yeah. And I was grateful for it.
And we had warm spells. Remember, this is our first warm spell since like Christmas time or right in the beginning of January. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
And we haven't experienced anything like that in a long time. So umpire class, if somebody wanted to go to the website and still get involved, they could, right?
Yes.
And you get paid to ump, you get paid to get out there, and you can only take the games you want. You don't have to take every game. There's no requirement to take every game. And Manaski is now an umpire. I saw him calling the Soto game where he hit the home run on Saturday.
Yeah, I wish.
That was exciting, right?
Yeah, unfortunately I didn't see it.
Sit down there. I got to talk to you, Davey.
I was getting phone calls from people. Did you see Soto? And I'm like, my first thought, to be honest with you, was he blew a knee or something.
Yeah,
right. he got injured, but fortunately, I was told that he hit a home run on his third pitch of spring training.
Third pitch, and my next question was, how did Alonso do? Because I really want Alonso to be driven by, let's keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Or the Jones, in this case. Anyway, pretty excited, Davey. I was pretty excited about the amazing Juan Soto. What did you think about that? Home run, first game, third pitch.
I watched it on Saturday after I came back home because I had some.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. You had a rough weekend.
Yeah.
Explain what happened to you.
So I had to call 911 on myself on Saturday morning.
When you say that to me, I immediately think
I thought he was robbing a bank.
I'm doing it. I'm going in.
Well, my mom called 911 for me, not me.
All right. What happened?
Well, I woke up to get a drink, and all of a sudden I laid back down.
This is Saturday morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
I started shivering real bad. So I got up and I started shaking. And I'm yelling, "Help me! I had trouble breathing. So
Oh, you're having trouble breathing.
yeah, my chest was like bumping real bad.
Yeah.
Find out I got a bad tooth, which I'm going to the dentist today.
That can kill you,
They
you
had
know.
a little bit to do with it.
I know
my
a story.
temperature was 106.
106, okay. Because you said earlier it was 110.
It's
and
106.
I don't think a human can survive at 110.
106.
You can be in 110 degree weather, but if your body's temperature is 110.
106.
Yeah, you were actually doing worse than the Pope on Saturday.
So
Wow.
I spent a couple hours at
Did they fill you with fluids?
Yes, and I got back home.
Got your temperature down.
Yeah, and I realized.
And listen, that tooth thing can kill a person. It poisons your system. There's a story without revisiting it for the family. I won't. But that someone was very committed to an event and a job. A very, very dedicated person, a wonderful person, but ended up having a bad tooth, an abscessed tooth, and ultimately died because of it.
Oh my goodness!
So you really have to.
So are you going to the
careful.
dentist today?
Yes, I have an appointment later this afternoon with the dentist.
I didn't mean to laugh. I guess I didn't realize it was that serious. You had kind of said you were,
Jeff,
a little anxiety.
When he said his temperature was 110.
I wasn't here for that. I wasn't here for that.
You were. This is not going to be good. But 106 for an adult is brutal.
Yeah.
Like you're near death right there. When you become an adult, as a kid, you'll see a kid will spike at 105 or something, and that can. I remember my daughter went through it once and began hallucinating. And we rushed her to the hospital. They got the temperature down. It was really scary. And that's when we knew you had to call. We had to call 911 when she started seeing things that weren't in the room. And this was when she was like 2 or 3. Kids are more resilient. Adults, when you get a temperature that usually 103 for an adult is really high.
Wow.
But 106.
Yeah, it was 106.
Baby. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're all right, Smitty.
I just been laying low this weekend. I was supposed to do a whole bunch of stuff, and
yeah. Well, you gotta
turn on the back burner. I don't have an appetite, so.
Yeah, well, your system's being poisoned by your tooth or something, maybe.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'll be all right.
I have heard of people say, like, my tooth is, whatever, infected or whatever the case might be, and they'll say they can feel their heartbeat if they press on the tooth. They can feel their heartbeat through their gums.
It can. You remember the old song, This Tooth is on Fire? That was a big one. That was a big hit. Okay, Davey, stop being a baby. Get in there and answer the phones. Come on. Boom, boom, boom. You're not being a baby.
Smitty,
we're kidding.
I'm glad you're doing better.
I'm not a baby.
I'm joking. I mean,
if that had been me, I'd have called in this morning. I'll tell you that right now.
That's exactly right. I wouldn't have been here.
I really didn't want to be here, but I had to be here.
Well, there's nobody left, for God's sakes.
Right.
We've had to call in the reserves. Manaski's here.
Yes.
Okay, we have a lot to get to. Going to talk to Sheriff Mashel on this the snow problems. He'll be calling in a second for you, Davey. And, you said feet of snow. Some of these places are looking at 5, 6, 7 feet of snow, even more in the extreme areas. But imagine that stuff on a roof and then trying to get it off. It is the worst to get off.
I'm still battling to find somebody to help me get the snow off my roof.
Well, you should
I'm
just...
afraid of ladders
I
and
would
heights.
have done with a temperature of 106. I'd have gotten up on the roof and just laid there.
Yeah.
You'd have melted everything off. They have these discs you can throw up onto your roof now.
Huh?
That apparently they're like... they're not salt, but it's that chloride, whatever that...
I think I delivered some of that last week.
Yeah, they're all from Amazon. You throw them up on the roof, and they'll melt an area around it right down to your shingles.
I had a couple of big, large black buckets, and it was labeled roof melt.
Roof melt.
And I'm assuming
that's
it was some
exactly
kind
what
of,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a deal. All right, I grab this phone there. Be careful walking. I'm glad your temperature's gone, and I'm glad you don't have COVID. There's a new strain of COVID out. That's really exciting.
Boy.
We'll talk about that coming up. It's so much. This is so new. It hasn't reached humans yet, supposedly. The Chinese are saying it's in bats. Is that code for we were mixing this stuff up in the lab and it's leaked out, so get ready?
I have a thought on Fauci I'd like to share later, too, if we can get to that.
All right. And I'm not sure I could do another shutdown, another COVID shutdown,
no.
or anything like that. Davey, I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with Sheriff Rob Mashel in just a second. Stand by at WIBX.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to goodrx.com/GLP. That's goodrx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hungry for something new? Discover Chef's Express, a bakery on a mission. Nestled in downtown Utica at 241 Genesee Street, they serve your favorite baked goods, mouth-watering breakfast sandwiches, savory lunches, and delicious desserts, plus catering options for your event. And every bite at Chef's Express helps people with disabilities in our community thrive. Stop in Monday through Friday or visit chefsexpressutica.com. That's Chef's Express. Great food with a greater purpose.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
I'm trying to send this to you. Send it via mail. And this will go to DAVE. Are you David on here? You are. Yeah, David Smith. And I'm going to label this sheet, Davey. It's all yours. It's on the way. It's what happens when we're shorthanded. We're all just confused around here. We don't know what to do. It is going to warm up today. You're going to get a lot of melting going on today as we'll head up into the mid-40s. And we're going to get about 4 days of this. So be prepared for that. While it is a good thing, one of these days I think we're going to get rain. Yeah. And that could be a very bad thing.
Yeah, our January thaw is about 3 weeks late, but we'll take it.
We'll take it. On the line right now is Sheriff Rob Mashel. Sheriff, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good.
Morning, sir.
So we're seeing, a lot of these farms are being put into a very, very difficult position right now.
Yeah, it's been a very devastating weekend. It's just unlike anything I've ever seen before. First, obviously the Barneville Fire Department, they suffered a severe loss with the complete collapse of their fire station. Luckily, they were able to get their stuff out of there in time. That's actually a substation, field office for the sheriff's office. It has been since that building opened like 30 years ago. We've temporarily relocated to the county DPW garage on 28 in Barneville. But certainly our thoughts and prayers go out to those guys. We work with them side by side every day. And then the farmers this weekend have seen just horrible. I mean, farmers I think they're still at the Lee Center barn collapse from yesterday. They had about 60 cattle in that barn. I think they were able to save about 20 of them. One in Western, just north of where I live. Again, several cattle lost there. And this has been going on for, probably a week and a half or so. There's been a couple of buildings come down that house farm machinery here in the same community I live. My neighbors, about a week ago, they lost part of their building and lost 3 cattle there. It's easy for people to say, why aren't we shoveling these roofs? But number one, these are massive structures for a lot of these freestyle operations, these big farms. Farmers obviously are struggling just trying to keep their operations going. And also, it's just been a unique weather with the snow and the ice. And it's just been incredible. And thank God that no people have been injured. It's just someone's certainly watching over everybody, because it's just amazing when you see these barns that are occupied by people, when some of them are falling and no one is, there when the actual collapse occurs. But just check your neighbors. It's not just happening at farms. There's been businesses. We've seen bowling alleys. We've seen storage barns. We've seen pavilions. I did see a picture yesterday of a home in the city of Utica where a massive front porch came down because the roof, wasn't cleared off. So, and not everybody's able to clear it off. Not everybody has money to hire someone to clear them off. So, again, you got to watch for things. Keep an eye on your structures, your rafters. My son and I were up in our barn on the second floor of both our barns looking at the upstairs structure to make sure everything seems intact. Like our main barn, our farm is way too high. We're talking, over 40 feet in the air, and you can't climb up there and shovel it off.
Right.
You just can't get up there, So just hope and pray, and this thaw is going to be very welcomed as long as it's slow. But the next thing, once the roofs are clear, the next thing we're going to be dealing with is significant flooding. We know that throughout this entire community.
That's going to come.
We've got to brace for that. Yeah.
I think we, at least in my neighborhood, I think we lost a lot of snow just with the sunshine being out over the weekend and temperatures, right around freezing. You just saw some, if you have like we have a mailbox that still had like a foot and a half of snow on it. Well, now it's down to about a foot.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think we did lose some, and we'll lose more this week, I would imagine.
Yeah, and as far as roofs go, most of that doesn't come off. What it's doing is obviously melting and it's compressing, so the weight is not changing. We definitely need some of that bright sunshine to help heat up these metal roofs, because obviously probably 90% of your barn, 95% of your barn roofs are metal.
Yeah.
It definitely needs some of Mother Nature's sunshine to warm the roofs up, and then there'll be avalanches when they clear. But that's just all these folks are praying for, just to give a little bit of relief, because, again, I don't know how much more these poor people can face with just the struggles of running a farm and the small business folks. And we lost 2 bowling alleys, just the struggle of running a bowling alley.
Right.
It's just awful. But, I guess my message as the sheriff is, please check on your neighbors. If anybody can help anybody, please do so. And this community is strong. Every one of these, whether it's a business, a farm, the Barneville Firehouse, when those disasters occurred, the community response was incredible, and that's a great thing to see in our community, that when tragedy strikes, everybody comes together.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. What bowling alleys got?
The one in Camden. There's a Camden bowling alley. I don't know exactly the location of that, but they had a partial collapse. And then the one in Rome, they shut down. I don't know if they've reopened, but where their main building connects to some type of extension, they suffered a decent separation there with some leakage. So, but I don't know if they're back up and running or not. But the list is just immense. I was reading it last night, a compiled list of structures, both commercial and residential. Just incredible.
Yeah.
The devastation that's out there.
Yeah. That snow, especially as you go north, it just kept coming and coming. It was that way here, but not with the accumulation that's happened to the north. Did you get much accumulation where you're at over the weekend?
We did get consistent. It was like heavy flurries, not a lot of accumulation, a couple inches. The one positive thing, I'm actually standing in back of my barn now because it's noisy inside the barn, but we have fences around for both our horses and cattle. The fences stick out of the ground about 48 to 50 inches. We've not been able to see our fences until yesterday. Now they are starting to surface. So
okay.
There was some melting and compression yesterday. We could see probably the top foot of our fencing that we've never been able to see since January. I don't think,
Well, and one of the things that with the you say the not only the melting but the compressing, one of those benefits, I realize on a roof there's no benefit, but one of the benefits will be you'll find it easier to walk through. Because when it was high, you'd get on that little level of ice, and then you'd go right down through it, and it just was so difficult to walk through. This should help you in that regard.
Exactly, and you're going to see a lot of public works folks out there today. So again, a word to the motorists: they're going to be digging and pushing back, especially in your suburbs and your cities, because they've got to locate these storm sewers, the storm sewer drains, because most roads are narrow. The sewers are covered when there's melting, and the sewers aren't visible or open. That's when you're going to get your ponding on the roadways. Again, if someone hits a 3 or 4 inch ponding, you can quickly lose control of your car. So be aware of that. Because again, and just hats off to the public works departments, town, village, cities. It's just amazing. We watched yesterday. Actually, we posted a video, and it went completely viral on the sheriff's office page. It was shared and shared. I couldn't believe how many times it was shared. But there were 26 10-wheel dump trucks on Route 12 in Barneville lined up as DPW workers were loading them with snow, trying to get the snowbanks back. So again, they could get the drainage flowing when the thaw comes for Route 12, so you don't end up with ponding on 55-mile-an-hour roadways. That can be
we know it's coming. So, all right, Sheriff, we appreciate the update. Thank you so much. Maybe we'll check in later to see if there's been any updates, possibly in the 8 o'clock hour. If you have an opportunity around 8:40, or 8:45, we'll try to check in with you.
Sounds good, guys.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Just to get an update on what's going on out there, because in some cases they're moving. I know of. We were talking about this family last week. They've already moved all of their valuable stuff out of the big pole barn that was coming down, and a lot of this stuff you gotta is maybe older construction, and we complain about codes. If you're building anything, you complain about it. There's a big thing right now over sprinklers. They're new construction requiring sprinkler systems, which would be very expensive. I don't know much about that. I kind of wonder what the offset would be. Like, you spend a lot of money on the sprinkler system. I'm assuming you'll save money on your insurance, and it probably would help you if there was a fire. I wonder if you took everything collectively. Is there any financial benefit there, or is it a big loss? I don't know. You probably would feel safer if you're sleeping in a house with sprinklers. However, what I'm saying is, when codes comes in and you're building a deck, or you're building an addition or whatever, and then you can't do that. You have to use this. It is annoying. It's like every time you turn around, codes is telling you. You got to follow these very expensive routes to be able to get stuff done. But in times like this, if you followed codes, chances are your roof is surviving. If you didn't, or it's old construction, maybe it's not.
Yeah.
So there are benefits. We'll break quickly. Coming up, speak with Ryan Schmelz with Fox News Radio. The congressional roundup as we kick off the week. How about Mitch McConnell saying he's going to not rerun? He won't run again. And where are all these budget bills? Some of this stuff is going to get really tricky, because there are Republicans who are not pleased with the approach to warm up to Russia and to talk negatively about and pull support from Ukraine. There are Republicans out there that might be holding some of this. When it comes to the budget bill, we'll talk to Ryan Schmelz on it coming up in a second. Stand by, WIBX.
The big Spring New York State RV Show is back at the State Fairgrounds February 27th through March 2nd. It's the ultimate RV shopping experience with over 400 models and 100 different brands to choose from. And with 9 dealers competing for your business, it's the place to buy. Whether you're looking for a travel trailer, motorhome, or fifth wheel, you'll find it at the Spring New York State RV Show. Get your tickets at nysrvshow.com. Sponsored by the New York State RV Dealers Association of Syracuse.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Did you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
I got a great story here, and it is, I wonder where you're at on this. Guy is walking down the road and sees a woman, a $20 bill falls out of her pocket. And does the guy pick it up and give it to the old lady, or does he put it in his pocket and say, finders keepers, losers, look at her?
Well,
that's what I would say.
Was she
losers,
cute?
Look at her. Was she cute? She was an old lady, a very pretty old lady, but...
Oh, well, I would have picked up the $20 and said, ma'am.
Could be in your wheelhouse.
Come over here. I'd like to buy you a drink.
How about this story?
$20 I just found.
A 46-year-old man in Pennsylvania won at a Pennsylvania casino $57,000.
Okay.
Earlier this month. This is recent, here in February.
Oh, don't tell me what I think you're going to tell me.
He will not get it. They will not pay him.
Why?
Because do you know what happens if you have a gambling problem? Now, you can just see it in people when they're leaving a casino and they're just depressed. They thought they were going to win their big jackpot, and they end up blowing their paycheck or whatever.
Yeah.
It's an awful thing to feel, probably awful thing to see, because I guess we've all seen it. And what they have the ability to do is to check themselves out. You can go to the casino office and say, I need a break for the next year or for life. I have a gambling problem. I'm not going to, please don't let me back in. You can do that. And today, I don't know how you escape it, because every TV commercial is talking about download the app and there's a guaranteed bet. But you can check yourself out of a casino. And if they see you there, they will remove you. And you're not allowed to gamble. This man checked himself out.
Oh, jeez.
But thought about it and was like, you know what? I'm going to take a shot today. I'm just going to go up and take a shot. And they didn't see him. He played, and he won a $57,000 jackpot. And now the casino says, we're not paying you because you checked yourself out.
See, I don't think that's appropriate, to be honest with you. I've been told, and I guess they all vary, right? All the casinos vary, but I've been told that they have facial recognition technology. If this man put in $50,000 and paid it, were they going to refund him?
Right. I wonder. Well, that's a really good point.
To say that we won't pay you winnings because you asked us not to be here. However, we did allow you in, and you were at a slot machine putting money in. We didn't stop you then.
It's like
when you won.
I have seen this before, where someone was, and I think that Turning Stone is really good when it comes to this. If you have, let's say you win, you're playing blackjack and you win, but you really shouldn't have won. You pushed. But the dealer pays you.
Right.
Now, my rule is always you got to stop them, because they're going to see it upstairs. And it may not happen immediately, but in about 15 minutes they're going to come down and say, "Hey, we paid you on something we shouldn't have paid you on. We need this money back." That happens. But they will also say, "Hey, you put a bet on this, and you're only allowed to bet this much. You lost it all, so here's the $25
in
overpayment that you get this $25 back." So I've seen it both ways.
Okay,
I think that, and it should be that way, right?
Yeah. Now I've only heard of it though in this particular case one way.
Right. You won
$57,000. We're not paying because you weren't supposed to be here.
So here's Doug Harback of the Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board explaining what the self-excluded ban is all about. Now, he checked himself out. He self-excluded himself, and he's not getting paid. Here they're explaining it.
They have an option of 1 year, 5 years, or a lifetime ban. It is enforced if they enter a casino while on the list, with penalties for trespassing, and that includes a fine, and also forfeiture of all winnings achieved during the visit.
So it clearly states in the fine print that if you visit and you win, you will not be paid.
So
now,
again,
had he won a little bet, they might not even have caught him. But the fact that $57,000 is significant, everybody's going to be called in, and they're all going to check it out.
I just have to ask again, if this guy got through whatever security detail they have or the facial recognition, and he sits down and he feeds $5,000 into the machine, are they going to refund it?
Yeah, probably not.
I've got $25 that says no, they won't.
Probably you're right.
That's my bet
I think
for today.
The fine print says you don't get your money back. Davey, find out what Ryan's out time is, could you? Davey? I'll just do it. Here's Ryan Schmelz, ladies and gentlemen, from Fox News Radio. Ryan, good morning. How are you?
712.
712. Well, we'll be
long gone before that.
We'll be long gone before that. All right. Okay. So listen, it really surprises me. Trump has been in office for what? 5 weeks now?
Is he even at 30 days? 35 days?
Is it 30 days?
I have no idea.
I mean, nothing has been going on. When does something happen? I mean, he's been there for almost a month, and he hasn't done anything. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. My head's spinning. Here we go with another week. This could be a biggie. What are we anticipating here, Ryan?
Well, we find out if we're any step closer to getting some of his legislative agenda passed. You know, the House is expected to vote this week on the one big beautiful bill that President Trump has been pushing for. It's got $300 billion in funding for the border and national security, as well as some energy policy. And then you also have $4.5 trillion in tax cuts, and about a $2 trillion goal in spending cuts with a $1.5 trillion floor there.
Is he calling it the big beautiful bill?
Yeah, I think that's right.
That's what he's called it.
Well,
I tell you.
And I'm pretty sure the real title is it's the big beautiful bill, more beautiful than anyone's ever seen before, people say. Yeah, I mean but you have a lot out there, because there are, for the first time, we're starting to see a little bit of discomfort on the side of Republicans. This Russia issue is a big deal right now. Yeah. And then people are going home, Congress people are going home to their districts that are being hit with, it's like anything else. We want everything to be cut. We need cuts.
Don't cut my program.
Just don't cut my program. Don't cut my job.
Cut. Yep. Don't cut mine.
And this is the first unease I think we've felt with Republicans with President Trump, so that can complicate things here.
Yeah, I think you could be. I mean, the moderates are kind of the ones to watch with this one, because you have some moderates who are warning, I wouldn't say threatening, but warning that they could vote no if there's cuts to Medicaid or some other programs in here. There are some who are putting it out there that they're not very happy with the president over his rhetoric towards Ukraine. And then you've got some New York Republicans and New Jersey, as well as California Republicans, who have issues if the state and local tax deduction isn't included in this. Right. So I think there is a lot of people that you could be watching for that could pull the trigger on being a no vote. And just one person pulling the trigger here is in many ways enough to possibly kill this.
And it's also very interesting to watch Republicans, because it's not easy to criticize President Trump. There's a very good chance you're going to get it back tenfold. And if it continues, you might find yourself being primaried with a lot of money behind it. So it's a tricky situation. However, I feel like Elon Musk is fair game. You're beginning to, on the Sunday programs, you're beginning to see people, certainly the Republican stance overall is supporting what he is doing and supporting him, but there are a few that are beginning to crack away. That could become problematic when, with such a thin margin, trying to get your big, beautiful budget bill passed.
Yes, and I think maybe some of the frustration towards Elon Musk comes from, he's going after agencies that don't currently have a Trump appointee in office. And you saw that with the USDA, where they went after, they decided to make some layoffs.
Yeah.
And some of the positions they laid off were the people who were studying and doing research projects on the bird flu, which has become one of the biggest contributors, if not the biggest contributor to inflation right now. Then the USDA started to try to bring those people back on board, and in some cases they haven't been able to find them. So that created a whole problem where, you had some folks saying, hey, you should probably wait till you put and Susan Collins was big on this, where she said, you should probably put your cabinet nominees in office first and be more surgical about how you're going about this, because you just created a mistake that was supposed to be looking for a solution to one of the biggest issues that farmers are facing, and just us going to the grocery store are facing, which is bird flu, causing the cost of chickens and the cost of eggs to go through the roof.
We even saw some criticism from Fox News, the Fox News channel, based on certain members who have been laid off, and the problem is the president is portraying these people as we're getting rid of waste. These people are just terrible. They're sitting around. They're doing nothing. There's corruption, none of which has been proven, by the way, none of which has been proven. And another part I learned over the weekend is they've gone back 20 years to find this quote-unquote corruption. But now some of these people caught up in these layoffs or firings are 20-year military veterans. And this stuff begins to hit home. And as it continues, and it will continue this week, again, I can't stress enough, I think it really can cause some major complications in getting what he wants to get done.
And that's why you're hearing some of them make the argument that you need to be more surgical with this, or you need to be utilizing Congress and legislation more in this, because then, and I think Rand Paul, who's probably one of the biggest waste, fraud, and abuse advocates out there when it comes to slashing it, has said that you need to try doing a rescissions package, which is that you come to Congress, you have Congress, write some legislation, they have hearings on it, they talk about it. And then they can say, okay, this is what they found. This is why we need to get rid of it. And then you are able to eliminate what could be a wasteful program or a program that's not necessary without causing as much of a concern there. So I think that's maybe some of the arguments you're hearing.
Good stuff as always. We appreciate you coming on, Ryan. Thank you. We'll talk again soon.
It sounds good, my friend. Thank you.
Thanks so much. News coming right up.
Scott and Jill here from New York Sash. Honey, this time of year has me thinking about falling in love.
Aw, Scott, that's beautiful. We are celebrating our silver wedding anniversary this year.
Well, actually, I was talking about falling in love with your home. So many customers come to us who need help showing their house some appreciation.
Seriously? The house? The house is the heart of the family, and it definitely deserves the love.
And now, New York Sash is making it easier than ever. For a limited time, siding installation is 50% off.
That's right, 50% off our siding installation. Choose traditional vinyl or new engineered wood siding with hundreds of colors, textures, and styles to choose from, with free design services and financing available.
So whether you want a sleek modern look or classic charm, you can have the home that's the envy of the neighborhood, just in time for summer.
Nothing makes you love your home more than a gorgeous, fresh exterior.
Ready to fall in love with your home again? Call New York Sash today and let's get started. Stop by our showroom in Whitesboro or check us out at NewYorkSash.com.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and servicing Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit bmecompany.com.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome.
W295EI.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Russia's war in Ukraine turns 3 years old. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Russia invaded on this day in 2022, and while European leaders and Canada's prime minister gather in Ukraine, Spain is offering an additional $1 billion worth of military aid, but not the U.S. right now. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth tells Fox News Sunday President Trump wants the war to end.
The president is focused on one thing and one thing only, and that's stopping the killing and the destruction across Ukraine and ensuring an enduring peace.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has offered to resign if there is a peace deal and Ukraine is allowed to join NATO. He's rejecting an American attempt to share profits from Ukraine's rare earth minerals because there's no U.S. security guarantee. And all that's up for discussion today.
French President Emmanuel Macron arrives here at the White House for the first time in President Trump's second term. Europe and NATO allies are pushing for a larger role in peace talks after a high-ranking U.S. delegation met with Russian counterparts last week in Saudi Arabia.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. Pope Francis remains in critical condition, battling pneumonia. But the 88-year-old Pope is said to be alert after the Pope slept and the night went well.
He's still receiving oxygen, the blood transfusions. There are also signs of what the Vatican is calling kidney insufficiency. Needless to say, the prognosis remains guarded.
Fox's Lauren Green in Rome. More than 1,000 workers at the U.S. Agency for International Development being fired. Staffers overseas put on leave as the Trump administration calls USAID out of control with wasteful spending, as other federal workers are on deadline to respond to an email to list their accomplishments last week, pushed by DOJ leader Elon Musk.
Saying failure to respond would be taken as an act of resignation. But some agencies are telling their employees to not respond just yet. So it's unclear whether there would be repercussions for not responding.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. Musk just posted on X this morning that federal employees who've ignored the Trump order to return to the office will be put on leave this week. America's listening to Fox News.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on SingleCare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to SingleCare.com or download the free app today.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela! Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything. But while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
There is more tension in the Middle East. Israeli tanks rolled into the West Bank for the first time in decades. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calls it a mission to thwart terrorism there. Palestinian leaders call it a dangerous escalation. Netanyahu also refusing to release 620 Palestinian prisoners who were supposed to be exchanged for the last 6 hostages Hamas set free from Gaza Saturday to finish out phase 1 of the ceasefire.
Special Envoy Steve Witkoff on CBS Face the Nation says he will spend up to 5 days visiting several nations, Israel, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia among them. He said ensuring phase 2 of the ceasefire is a priority, as well as getting American hostage Edan Alexander home.
He's critical. It's one of President Trump's most important objectives is to get all Americans home.
Israel saying Hamas is subjecting hostages to humiliating public displays. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
On Wall Street, there could be a rebound from Friday's big sell-off when the Dow plunged 748 points to cap off a losing week. Right now, Dow futures are up more than 300 points. Just like Daytona, a dramatic finish on the NASCAR track.
The second race of the NASCAR Cup Series season headed to overtime at Atlanta Motor Speedway. But instead of a fight to the finish, it was decided when another caution flag came out just a little after the restart. Video showed Christopher Bell barely ahead of both Kyle Larson and Carson Hocevar, giving him his 10th career victory, despite the fact that He hadn't led a single lap before that.
That right there is what you dream of. You never know how those things are going to play out, but I'll be the first to tell you, I love super speedways.
Bell courtesy of Fox Sports. Greg Thompson, Fox News.
On the ice, Alex Ovechkin netted a hat trick in Washington's 7-3 win over Edmonton. Ovechkin's 3 goals put him just 12 shy of tying Wayne Gretzky's NHL record of 894 career goals. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Mostly cloudy skies, 26 degrees, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. News time is 7:05. Good morning, I'm Jeff Manaski. Well, it was a complete collapse of the Barneveld Firehouse over the weekend. It happened on Saturday afternoon. Fortunately, there were no injuries reported, and firefighters were able to remove all equipment from the building prior to the collapse. Last hour, we spoke with Oneida County Sheriff Rob Mayshiel here on the Keeler in the Morning show. That location also served as a substation for the Oneida County Sheriff's Office. Again, efforts to clean up the debris and move forward while still serving the community continue today. It has been several weeks since he was first nominated. Still no confirmation hearing set for former Congressman Brandon Williams. Williams was selected by President Trump to be the next Undersecretary for Nuclear Security and Administrator of the National Nuclear Security Administration for the U.S. Department of Energy. The agency has been in charge of overseeing the country's nuclear arsenal since 2000. Congressman Williams previously served as a nuclear submarine officer in the U.S. Navy and was the 24th District Congressman here in Central New York. Central New York drivers finding a little relief at the pumps, not much really. AAA says the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel now at about $3.18, depending on where you go. On average, that's down a penny from last week and 2 pennies over the past month. Currently, the state average is at $3.17. Nationally, the cost for a gallon of regular fuel is at $3.14. Flag statewide will be lowered to half-staff today to mark the 3rd anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Those flags will be down from sunrise to sunset before landmarks are illuminated in blue and yellow, which, of course, are the colors of the Ukrainian flag. In central New York, the landmark that will be lit up is the New York State Fairgrounds, the main gate, and the Expo Center. Governor Kathy Hochul says New York proudly stands with Ukraine in its fight against Russia's assault. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 7:08. A nice warm-up today. Full details from Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stachik.
Mild weather will continue to build in here over the next couple of days. Most of us near 40 degrees as we head through this Monday with more clouds than sun, especially as the day goes on. Tonight, maybe a passing rain or snow shower, mid-30s. Chance of rain showers tomorrow with a high close to 40 degrees. And Wednesday, mainly cloudy and still near 40. I'm meteorologist Ray Stachik at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Haven't warmed up yet. Still sitting at 26 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 7:08.
Want selection on your next mattress? At Mattress Express, we have...
All right. We're going to be all screwed up now. Okay. I'll have you do sports.
Well, speaking of selections, Bill, one of the top signal callers who may be selected in this year's NFL draft, in fact, he will be. ESPN says that Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders will not work out at the Combine this week in Indianapolis. Sanders will still meet with teams for interviews, but he won't take part in any on-field workouts on Saturday. Sanders still expected to throw on campus next month at Colorado's Pro Day. Sanders currently ranked as ESPN draft analyst Mel Kiper's 4th overall prospect and top-ranked QB with just over 2 months until the draft begins. Well, they got out and played the Adirondack Ice Bowl this weekend. And, of course, at the Adirondack Bank Center, they had plenty of action going on for both the Pioneers and the Comets were all in action this weekend. Bill's got an update
Comets
for us.
were on the road this weekend, but I want to focus on the Pioneers because they won. And I got to say, they played Manhattanville. Let me just start here. They were tied with Geneseo atop the conference. Do you know that Utica has won, going into this weekend, Utica has won 8 straight UCHC championships. And now they're tied with Geneseo going into the weekend. So Geneseo had the edge in a tiebreaker because they split basically, but one of those wins for Utica was a shootout. So they get fewer points.
Yeah.
Which means the
losing
edge,
team still gets a point for that.
Yes, the edge goes to Geneseo if they both end up tied.
Yeah.
So what the Pioneers needed, they had to win both games, Friday and Saturday against Manhattanville, and Geneseo had to lose at least once to Nazareth. Friday night, the Pioneers are down 1-0. Then they tie it up in the second. And they are now tied 1-1, and then they scored 4 goals in the third, unanswered, and they won 5-1. I think was the final. Unfortunately, Nazareth playing Geneseo at home. Nazareth lost to Geneseo 9-1 on Friday night. So we all walked out of the odd like, okay, the Pioneers have to win tomorrow night on the road. And Geneseo will travel just a short drive to Rochester to play Nazareth. And chances are they're going to win, and they'll win the conference. Out of nowhere, Nazareth jumps out to a lead. Geneseo came back, took the lead. Nazareth tied it up and then scored like 4 goals in the third period.
Get out.
And beat the pants off Geneseo. The Pioneers were in a tight game. Finally took the lead. I believe it was 3-2 or 2-1. I forget. And no score in the third period. The Pioneers win. Geneseo loses. Gary Heenan's Pioneers win their 9th straight UCHC championship.
Congratulations, Gary.
Thank you, Nazareth, because they really helped out a little bit.
That's very cool.
So now the playoffs start Wednesday night. The Pioneers will have a bye. Tickets are on sale right now for Saturday night, round number 2, and that'll be at the Odd at 7 p.m. Get your tickets now. They're available either online or at the box office. So there you go. In a nutshell, and we'll speak to Gary Heenan coming up in a second.
I'll mention here the Knicks were blown out by the Celtics again, 118-105. The Knicks still in second in the Atlantic Division. The Nets continue without a member of their front court tonight. Noah Clowney expected to miss his 10th straight game as the Nets visit the Washington Wizards. More hockey action. I should have done this first. The Devils began their 5-game road trip, shutting out the Predators 5-0. The Rangers rallied for a 5-3 victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins. And a quick note on exhibition baseball this weekend. Juan Soto hit a home run in his 3rd pitch of spring training action. The Yankees were shut out by the Tigers, and the Mets and Marlins finished in a tie. They had some split squad action, so the Mets also lost to the Marlins. Who cares? Juan Soto home run. That's all that we care about. And I'll mention as well, speaking of baseball, tonight the classes begin for Mohawk Valley Baseball Umpires Association. They begin at 6 o'clock. Please be there by 5:45 if you're coming. Notre Dame High School cafeteria. I'm telling you, the time goes by quick. There's a lot of great guys who are instructors. It's a nice little side income. We'll train you. You go out there, you get assigned, you do several games. We want to encourage people to come out if you're interested, and I encourage those as well, especially if you're a parent or a grandparent with a youngster who you think is going to be, home for the summer with college and everything, and maybe they played some baseball. Get them out there. We need young ones. We need old ones. But the MVBUA classes begin tonight, Monday, Wednesday for 5 weeks, I believe. And it's 6 to 9, but you'll be out before 9. It'll be about at 8:30 probably. But it starts tonight at the Notre Dame cafeteria.
You started umpiring baseball at the end of March last year. What are the chances we do that again this year?
I don't see it happening. As a matter of fact, we had an organizational meeting 2 weeks ago, and I think what they're asking local schools is to try to push the heavier part of the schedule into like mid to late April.
Yeah.
Instead of, because again, like last year, my first game was March 28th, and I'll tell you, it felt like March 28th.
Well,
out
March
there.
1st
like
is
37
Saturday.
degrees.
March 1st is Saturday, and there's a lot of snow that has to go.
Yeah.
And chances are, even if the snow is gone by the end of March, the fields are going to be wet and very, very muddy.
Yes.
So, yeah. Yeah, there we go. Okay, quick break. Coming up, we'll speak with Dr. Shemaleski, Dr. Zielinski from the Falcon Clinic, and we have some very interesting news from them that we'll get to. And also, a new strain of COVID. And this one they're worried about, say the Chinese. Now, you're only getting half the information out of the Chinese. It's probably something that's been going on for a while. They say it has not gone from bat to human yet, but they fear it will, and it could be a really bad version of COVID. Does this happen, or is this just another one of their scares? We'll speak with Dr. Shemaleski and Dr. Zielinski coming up in a second. Hobica's free money question of the day. Today, Davey, is going to be worth
$100.
$100. Okay. Starting out nice and conservative. Davey's been sick. He's got a bad tooth. Got to be careful with that. So we'll get to that coming up. And then head coach Gary Heenan will get the latest on his Pioneers. I believe they have a clear path to the NCAA tournament.
Let's go,
they're
Pioneers.
They're a probable, and obviously they got to get to the championship game of the UCHC, but I don't think they have to win to get in this year. So we'll talk to Heenan about that. Stand by. Coming right back at WIBX.
Want selection on your next mattress? At Mattress Express, we have Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh and Lavish, and more. No one else in New York State has all these brands under one roof, open 7 days a week.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Open registration for the Boilermaker Road Race is live, and people are sprinting to Boilermaker.com to grab their racing bibs before they're gone, and they're going fast. More than half of the 15K running bibs have already been spoken for, so time is running out to reserve your spot at the starting line and punch your ticket to the world's best post-race party with live music, drinks, food, and surprises. This year's Boilermaker is shaping up to be bigger and better than ever. So run, don't walk to Boilermaker.com to sign up for one of America's favorite races. See you at the starting line on July 13th.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, did I mention Hobica's free money question of the day? Manansky had a really good idea. Maybe today is worth, in honor of Davey, who said he had a temperature of 110 over the weekend. Maybe it's $110, not just 100.
Yeah, let's do 110.
I think we should.
Bonus money.
I think we should. I think that works. Just come this way just a little bit. Nice and tight there, and the microphone. Dr. Shemaleski and Dr. Zielinski
Morning,
making
guys.
their way in. Guys,
morning,
just
gentlemen.
throw your... Davey, could you come in and just kind of make sure their mics are in the right place? I know you got a lot going on. Listen, a Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle is a tremendous value. During a season to move you sales event at Steve Ponte Mazda, they select their best late model Mazdas for their Mazda certified pre-owned vehicles. They offer it with a 160-point inspection and balance of the 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. And if you need a lower price or a lower payment, let's make your deal on a Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle from the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction. Ricky Z, and everybody at Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. And then I'm hoping the app is now working correctly. Maybe Mike can let us know on that. When there was a trigger thing, it just messed everything up. But I think we're okay now. In studio is Dr. Zielinski and Dr. Chmielewski. Gentlemen, docs, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I got a lot of questions for you today, but we want to start out with there are some changes coming, but not that much that is the public is going to realize, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yep.
Okay, I'll let you guys take it.
Well, if I could start, like back in 2004, I opened up the Falcon Clinic for Health, Wellness, and Recovery. And I wanted to bring the osteopathic concepts to Central New York, something that most people still don't really understand.
Yeah.
And it's based on physiologic concepts where you try to get the person to their best level of physiologic functioning. And in doing that, we use medicines. We do refer for surgeries and stuff like that. But we also have some other little tools in our toolbox there, including hands-on osteopathic manipulation. And I like to think of it as a combination of, massage therapy, physical therapy, acupressure, and some of the things that the chiropractors do are kind of overlap with what we do.
Yeah.
And some of the chiropractors do a lot of the things like we do too. So there is overlap, but we are physicians first and foremost. And I wanted to bring this, as a real game changer for people, not just if they had like neck problems and back problems and knee problems, but also we treat all kinds of infections like, bronchitis, walking pneumonia, sinusitis, and, things like migraines and all that. And so I did this for about 21 years there.
Wow.
Yeah. And in the process, Dr. Zielinski, as a resident, came over, and he was very interested in it. And we've had a relationship now for, I think, about 6, almost 7 years now. Mm-hmm. And he is the next generation, and I'm really looking excited about this whole change.
Dr. Zielinski.
Sure. So kind of like you were alluding to before, we're hoping that after March 1st, from the patient's perspective, from the public's perspective, no one's going to know anything's changed. And what I mean by that is on March 1st of this year, ownership of the Falcon Clinic is going to transfer from Dr. Chmielewski to myself. And I know what a lot of listeners are thinking out there, and I'm going to say it right now, and Dr. Chmielewski will echo it just as strongly. Dr. Chmielewski is not retiring. I'm going to become his boss, so to speak. He's going to become my employee, so we're going to kind of swap roles there. But other than that, the transition should not impact our operations or patient care in any way, shape, or form whatsoever.
Okay.
He's doing 21 years, and then what, are you going to come work at FedEx like I did there? You do 21 years here, and then you
join the Army.
There you go. I could do that. God bless them, No, so I better not retire because I've got full schedule for the next few weeks, and the patients will kill me,
So, which is really the next progression of the Falcon Clinic. Yeah. Well, congratulations
Thank you.
to both of you on that.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Well, no, I'm just saying we're really excited about it. One of the critiques of the osteopathic profession has been that only about 15% of the osteopathic physicians, or DOs, doctors of osteopathic medicine, practice any form of hands-on manipulation on a regular basis, off and on. And only about 5% do it on a regular basis. Well, personally, Dr. Zielinski and I guess we're prejudiced. We feel that this is something that should be in the mainstream for all physicians.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're an MD or DO, it doesn't matter. But we really do have some dynamite things there, And there are a lot of MDs that are now taking osteopathic courses and getting what's called osteopathic recognition. They do all that stuff there, and we're starting to see slowly a slow wave of MDs, along with a lot of DOs coming back in the fold.
I do want to say that the two of you were there when my dad had a terrible back issue to the point where he couldn't even walk, and he lost so much weight. Right. It was really bad, and we came to both of you, and today he's doing incredibly well. I believe it's a little difficult to get out in the wintertime where they're at, But he walks in there. I don't know how he does this inside the house. Yeah. The house isn't that big, but he does like 7,500 steps a day just walking, because that is one of the things you guys talked to him about is the more you remain active, the more you will remain active.
Yeah.
If you don't, when you get older, you lose muscle mass and your strength very, very quickly.
He may be pacing around the house saying, well, what's Bill doing now?
That's
What's
probably what's happening. Oh, great. Here he goes again.
No, people ask, if I can interrupt there, people ask me once, like with what we do, when should you see an osteopathic physician, a DO? And my answer, and I'm not being cute, is as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we're not a cure-all, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say we're better than anybody else. I don't mean that. What I mean is we bring a different perspective. And sometimes either alone or in combination with other specialists or their own primary or whatever, we can be part of an important fit for their health.
I want to bring in Davey. Davey, come on the microphone there. He had a temperature of almost 106 over the weekend. Woke up what, Davey? You were having trouble breathing. It felt like the flu, right?
Yeah, I woke up shivering and had the chills, and
well, of course, with the temperature of 106.
Yeah.
Turns out he has an abscessed tooth. That can cause that. Mm-hmm. So basically, it's poison. It can kill you, right?
Yeah, if you let
let it go long enough.
Spread,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How are you feeling now, Davey?
I feel okay. Just my jaw hurts a little bit.
Well enough to come to work, huh?
Yes.
Apparently. Well, he's on some really serious meds right
I'm
now.
sure.
So,
my goodness.
yeah.
I would check the battery on that thermometer. That's pretty high. No, really.
It is pretty high.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what we were saying last hour. Like, holy cow, you were in a danger zone
Well,
there.
and it's so a child will spike a temperature of 105, and now that's high, and it's probably dangerous. But it's explain that. Whereas an adult at 105, you're in deep trouble.
I think you're in deep trouble at 105.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you get beyond about 103, you really get into what's called bacteremia. You're getting into bacteria in the blood on there, So along with that, something like that, you also have to look at the child. Because if a child is sick, they look sick.
Yeah.
And they got they're not eating well. They got a fast heart rate there. Maybe they're pale. They're not eating, et cetera, et cetera. So that's something that has to be looked at for sure. Usually the cutoff is something like below 101 or less, especially if it's a really good-looking kid and they're eating and they're driving
Active,
mom
playful,
and dad crazy.
yeah, exactly.
Playful. I would think things like Tylenol, just fluids and rest.
Do you guys believe in this? Is my mother's belief, and she's pretty good. Is that if the temperature gets up to 100.5 to 101, then you take a painkiller, Advil or Tylenol to bring it down. But if it's below that, it is your body doing its work, and maybe you shouldn't get rid of that temperature. What are your thoughts?
So I've actually read kind of along those lines. So fever.
My mother wrote the brief on it.
So if we think about it, things like antibiotics and Tylenol and ibuprofen are fairly new inventions in the grand scheme of humanity.
Sure.
Back in the days of the ancient Egyptians and the Middle Ages in Europe and elsewhere. I mean, fever was our body's way of fighting off infection. So a lot of times, kind of like what you said, pediatricians or adult physicians and providers will recommend, hey, if you're not that uncomfortable, let the fever run its course. You can certainly take Tylenol or Motrin or what have you, but it might make whatever illness you have stick around a little longer, maybe an extra day or so. You might be a little bit more comfortable in the longer duration, but sometimes there is merit to, like your mom said, just letting the fever do its thing and getting it over with.
Dr. Mom, we call her. Just. And then Dr. Shamileski, word out of China is there's a new strain of COVID, and it's from, right now they say, is not gone from the bat to the human. You can't believe the Chinese, though. It's probably already done that, or
They
maybe
make good dumplings.
Could have come out of a lab, and so did the dumplings, probably. But have you read anything about this and your thoughts?
I was very little. I don't think I...
There's not much information out
right,
there.
I don't think I have read enough or know enough about it to offer an opinion on that, but certainly in light of what we've been through over the past couple of years, let's hope and pray that it doesn't make the jump.
I believe it was Fox News that actually covered the story this weekend, saying that it's in the hands of a Chinese bat right now.
Yeah. Well, when the COVID pandemic started, the COVID-19 started in the United States in 2020, and we're learning more about it all the time. It seems to be less lethal than it was back in 2020 and other things. But I thought from the beginning that from a biological standpoint, this was the new kid on the block. And the new kid on the block does not want to kill off all of their hosts there. They want to insinuate themselves into the neighborhood, as another virus, so they can continue to.
Yeah, survival
reproduce.
is their.
That's survival. That's
the virus.
That's the law of the jungle, And I'm not that smart, but I guess I've been proven correct on that.
Yeah.
And so variations, there are always variations on there, and viruses especially are tremendous. That's one of the reasons why we have to have a flu vaccine every year, because they're constantly changing.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you this too, and there are a lot of cuts going on right now, and Elon Musk has his chainsaw and he's going through the government. Some of the things that have been cut, I wonder if you guys have any fear about some of for instance, a lot of these medicines, the medicine I am on, cost, if I were to buy it over the counter, if I wasn't a part of a study, it's $26,000 a month.
Oh my
goodness. They're working on a generic that'll bring the cost down, but right now it isn't there. Yeah. My father has it, and actually has, because of his eye pressure, has to have shots in his eye on a pretty much a monthly basis. That's somewhere around the cost is like $15,000 per month.
Wow.
The average person just can't afford these things. Is there a fear that some of that money is not going to be able to keep these programs going? And I know it's a little early, but I know my father's program has been canceled. They're currently paying out of pocket. Mine is still going on, but I do worry about that.
So let me, and Dr. Shimoleski, you can certainly correct me if I'm wrong, or if you've had different observations in your anecdotal experience so far. We're only a couple of months into 2025, and I will say, thankfully, up to this point in our office, we haven't felt any significant ramifications of that yet. Thankfully for primary care, when you're talking your common, blood pressure drugs like, lisinopril for high blood pressure, metformin for diabetes, and so on and so forth. These generally tend to be pretty cheap drugs to begin with. So we have not seen, nor have our patients vocalized to us that, hey, I can't afford my lisinopril anymore. I can't afford my metformin anymore. I can't afford the Mobic that you wrote for me for my back pain anymore.
Right.
But another big concern that we have as physicians, and I'm sure a lot of other providers in this area and elsewhere are concerned about, are cuts to Medicare and Medicaid going to affect us on the reimbursement side of things. Now, thankfully, we have not seen that yet, and hopefully it never comes, but we'll keep you posted.
All right. It's a terrible thing that I discovered about the leukemia that I'm dealing with, or I feel like we've, knock on wood, we're through the worst of it. And as long as I take that medicine, I will be fine. But what I didn't realize is there is about more than half of the world that has no access to this medicine. And those people, they pass away. Yeah. It's amazing how lucky we are to be in this country.
Yeah, it is a blessing in so many ways.
Really is.
I guess if you turn the clock back, you think about what it was like in previous times there,
Think of the number of people who have died, who there's now a medicine to prevent the death.
Sure.
Yeah.
In the last 50 years.
Yeah.
It's
but that's almost like saying coulda, shoulda, woulda. I mean, 3 words I hate to use.
Well, you should have been born later.
Yeah, right.
Sadly.
Because that's something we obviously have total control over.
Right, that's right. All right, enough of the philosophical stuff. The fact is, everything's plowing forward.
Yes.
You guys are still accepting new patients.
Yes.
And stop saying he's retiring because he's not.
Right.
Correct. And including but not limited to, we said, nothing's going to change, including but not limited to our phone numbers. So if someone is interested in becoming a patient or making an appointment, we're still going to be at 315-507-4751, the Falcon Clinic.
All right, docs. Thank you.
All right.
Stay
young and healthy.
I've been doing it like crazy. I mean, can you believe it?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you
for having us.
Davey, we're doing Hopeka's free money question of the day. And this morning, you are looking at caller number what? Number 4. Number 4 right now at 315-736-0186.
We're your neighbors, friends, and your family. We care about our community, your business, and most important, you.
We support charities like the United Way, McMahon Ryan Child Advocacy Center. We're the members of IBW Local 43 and NECA Contractors. You don't just see our work, you live it. From the JMA Wireless Dome, hospitals, schools, and city buildings, the IBEW is part of the community.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
If you're looking for flooring, boy, do I have the perfect place for you. This is Bill Keeler, and I highly recommend Sarah's Flooring Outlet, the area's leading flooring store. They have the absolute largest inventory in Central New York, and it's a brand new store at the Route 49 Plaza in Marcy. And if you're looking for Pergo Extreme, they have a price guarantee anywhere in the area within a 60-mile radius of their store. It's a pretty awesome deal, and you know you're going to get the best deal at Insera's. Log on to their website at InserasFlooringOutlet.com and sign up to save $50 off your next purchase of $500 or more. You can shop online or in the store. You will not find a better selection than Insera's Flooring Outlet. See why more people buy from the big store. Its selection, its price, and it's a 6-month interest-free financing. Log on to the website, InserasFlooringOutlet.com, and see for yourself or visit their store. Insera's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road in Marcy.
The doctor's office that mixed up your files has your Social Security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info and last 3 addresses. Your info is in endless places that could accidentally expose your info to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
All right, we're going to do the contest coming right up. First, I'm going to ask you, has an update from the newsroom, which is really in the studio straight across from me.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. News time is 7:37. We're looking at a warm-up into the mid-40s today. Right now, we are at 27 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. We talked this morning with Oneida County Sheriff Rob Mashel about a complete collapse of the Barneveld Firehouse. It happened on Saturday afternoon. WKTV reports there were no injuries, and firefighters were able to recover all equipment and move it outside of the facility prior to the collapse. Sheriff Mashel telling us that that location also served as a substation for the Oneida County Sheriff's Office, and activities resumed today for the cleanup there, and then relocating that substation for the sheriff's office as well. Former Central New York Congressman Brandon Williams still has no confirmation hearing set for his nomination from President Trump. Trump nominating him to be the next Undersecretary for Nuclear Security and Administrator of the National Nuclear Security Administration in the U.S. Department of Energy. The agency has been in charge of overseeing the nation's nuclear arsenal since 2000. Former Congressman Williams previously served as a nuclear submarine officer in the United States Navy. Local gas prices down a bit, not much really. Central New York drivers seeing an average drop of 1 penny since last week and down 2 pennies over the past month. That brings our average here in Central New York to $3.18. Statewide, the average for a gallon of regular fuel is $3.17. Nationwide, it is at $3.14. Travelers at Syracuse Hancock International Airport now have a new culinary option to choose from. Qdoba, if I'm saying that correctly. describes itself as being a fast casual restaurant that serves Mexican-style cuisine. It's open and located just past the security checkpoint. Food will be available each day from 4:15 a.m. until 8:30 p.m. And the Utica University Pioneers capturing their 9th straight conference championship.
UCHC, it was enormous.
Huge win for the Pioneers. It's kind of become old hat 9 times in a row, but it was something they had to sweat out this weekend. They did pick up a pair of victories this weekend to secure the conference title, the regular season title. The UCHC playoffs now begin on Wednesday night. The Pioneers do have a first-round bye. Tickets on sale soon for their upcoming home games.
Right now.
Oh, right now. Okay.
It's a game for Saturday.
That was 9 o'clock.
For Saturday night's game. Tickets are on sale now. In fact, I already bought some. Do a break first. Okay, Bill's okay to hold? Bill, hold on. I'm going to get to you coming up next. We're going to do our free money question. And then head coach Gary Heenan with the Utica Pioneers coming right up at WIBX.
The big Spring New York State RV Show is back at the State Fairgrounds February 27th through March 2nd. It's the ultimate RV shopping experience with over 400 models and 100 different brands to choose from. And with 9 dealers competing for your business, it's the place to buy. Whether you're looking for a travel trailer, motorhome, or fifth wheel, you'll find it at the Spring New York State RV Show. Get your tickets at nysrvshow.com. Sponsored by the New York State RV Dealers Association of Syracuse.
This is Anthony Constantino, CEO of Sticker Mule. I'm a proud Trump supporter, running for Congress for the seat being vacated by Elise Stefanik. I built a successful internet company with nearly 1,000 people in upstate New York. However, much of upstate New York suffers from lack of access to high-speed internet that's necessary to build great companies and enable high-paying remote jobs. In fact, much of our district lacks access to strong, dependable cell phone service too. Of course, we must have both for public safety and to grow the economy. When elected to Congress, I will work quickly with President Trump to fix this problem. With high-speed internet, dependable cell service, and by renewing President Trump's tax cuts, both for businesses and individuals, we will create jobs and return economic prosperity to upstate New York. Follow me, Anthony Constantino, on Facebook today to learn more about my plans to make New York great again. I'm Anthony Constantino, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Constantino for Congress.
The President's Day sales are on at Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350 on names like Puffy, Purple, Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, and more. Take 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers. No credit check payment plans available as well. Check out our new store in Auburn and our new staff in Oswego. Go to mattressexpressny.com. If you're considering a bed where you can pick a number on each side and make it soft or firm, compare to the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort only at Mattress Express. Compare price, compare features, and compare warranty. A 25-year industry-leading warranty with 45 individual settings on each side. Then 5 years, no interest, no money down for qualified buyers, and then you choose from a list of luxury rewards. Go to mattressexpressny.com for locations.
This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, Bill is ready to go here in Stittville. Davey, by the way, your tooth is ready to burst, and you're on
gonna burst.
Painkillers, you're not feeling well. I just want to say thank you for being here this morning because I know you don't feel like it.
Thank you. I'll be all right.
Yeah. Manaski, thank you for being here this morning. I certainly know you don't feel like it.
Well, I'll tell you, after last week, I was going to start beating the bushes looking for $5 bills outside to see maybe some job applications as well.
Driving around in this snow has been awful.
Yeah, I'll make this brief. The climbing over the snowbanks to get to somebody's front door to drop off a bed set on my shoulder is, that kind of gets old after one visit.
That snow there's a level where you're like, oh, this isn't too bad. I'm only about a foot in, and then you go down.
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I thought I broke my ankle right after the first.
Wow.
I just had stepped on a curb the wrong way And again, it was how the snow was sitting, and I thought it was going to be flat ground, but it was half curb, half pothole.
Yeah.
And I actually had some significant bruising across the side of my foot, and I thought it was broken, but it turns out it wasn't.
I could have saved you a copay. The doctors were right here. Bill is in Stittville. Bill, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm sorry we almost lost you, and we're going on.
Yeah, I called back.
Yeah, thank you for calling back. Are you ready to take a shot here?
Yes.
On the line right now is $110. You want to call Gary? Oh, I'm going to need you to do that. Okay.
After.
$110 on the line here this morning. And all you have to do is answer this question that we've talked about all morning long. Here we go. In UCHC hockey, the Pioneers beat Manhattanville this weekend. Which team beat Geneseo on Saturday night? Ready, go.
Binghamton.
Was it Binghamton? Boy. Well, I thought you might have heard us talking about it. Nazareth, which is not only a hockey team, they're also a band that did that. Now you're messing with a son of a sea cook. Remember that song?
Yes.
Bill, we're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 card. Good at the Comets games, the Pioneers games, Nexus, Babes, Taylor and the Cook, Aquavino, which is just awesome. You stand by. Davey's going to hook you up, Bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. You still get something even for getting it wrong, which is the beauty. Don't hang up, Bill. Davey is going to hook you up. Right now,
Nazareth is also a city in Israel, of course.
That is true.
Yes.
I wasn't going to go
thought that's
down
where you
that
were
road.
going next.
Well,
but
I went rock and roll instead. On the line right now is head coach Gary Heenan, who I would have killed to be a fly on the wall during the first and second period of Friday night's game at the Odd. Because
if you had been a fly on the wall, you might have been killed because a laptop would have been propelling toward that wall.
Here he is, head coach Gary Heenan. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Great to hear from you.
I was kind of wondering what was it, because you guys were crushing them on Friday night, but you just could not get the puck past that goalie. It was 1-1 after 2, and then the floodgates opened in the third period.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an issue for us since Christmas. Actually, we were one of the more prominent scoring teams in the country the first half, and suddenly our depth in scoring isn't quite there. So we're trying to figure it out. You're spot on. I mean, the chances are there. We've got a whole packet of analytics we get, and we should be winning these games more than we have been. But it was nice to get those 4 goals and then travel down there and do our thing.
And I did a story. There's a story that kind of takes the whole package this weekend and puts it together. The fact that you needed a win on Friday night, you got it. It looked very dismal when Geneseo beat Nazareth 9-1 on Friday night, and you're thinking, well, we need Geneseo to lose, and sure enough, Nazareth came through and got in front of them, but you guys still had to win that very close game with them in Manhattanville. What a weekend of drama it was.
Yeah, you don't. You just don't see a team win 9-1 one night and the very next night lose to that same team. Yeah. It's quite a turnaround. So we weren't overly optimistic. We thought, we had blown our streak, and I think the guys had their heads up their because of that. Our game was delayed a couple times because of rink issues, and we actually knew going into the third period that Geneseo had lost.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, so we kicked in the motivation, got a huge power play goal in the third, and here we are. We've won our league once again. So we're all smiling today, and playoff time now. So we'll get back to work here and hopefully win another one here for the Utica fans.
Gary, I don't want to say this as an absolute, but it does seem like a lot of times, you outshoot opponents 4-5-1 at least at the Adirondack Bank Center, the games that I've been to. How much of that involves, again, 9 straight conference championships. When someone comes into town, they know, it's like what they say when the Chiefs are the defending champions. You have a target on your back. You always get your best effort from the opponent because they know they're playing a top tier school. How much of that do you think factors in?
I think, we seem to get everybody's best goaltending performance.
Yeah.
There was, honestly, at Manhattanville, the rink is such a dump. It's freezing.
No one's there. Nobody. There's like 45 people there. I mean, it was unbelievable.
They're literally. There's no way there's 50 there. And 20 of them are our parents.
Man.
And so when they get here, and there's a couple 3,000 people. I mean, they're charged up to play. They are.
Yeah.
For us, it's like just another game. But we seem to get everybody else's. I mean, we do play well. We the guy. I mean, we do attract some talent, and we do outshoot teams, but outshooting doesn't mean outscoring always,
right,
And so, the guys, we've been on the right side of a lot of 1-goal games. I mean, our fans are tired of seeing that other end and seeing the goalie out and us having to defend 6-on-5 for the last minute, which we've done, honestly, probably 10 times this year. So, we've been hardened because of those experiences, and, it's going to be a tight game, no question about it. Semi-final, final now.
So, your opponent will be the winner of Wednesday night's game. Who is in line to play here on the bottom seed, the lower seed, right?
Yeah, it is a lower seed. I mean, Brockport goes into Manhattanville. Be a tough game for them. Manhattanville's such a tough place to play because of the rink, as we mentioned. It's a funky, 70-some feet wide only. But and then you've got Nazareth rolling up into Chatham, which, again, is a tough trip. But that one could go either way, I think. So we really won't know until Thursday morning. Our message seems to most times be it's about us and how we play. I think we are, we should be the better team in that contest. It's about performance. So are we paying attention to it? Of course we are. We'll do our work and scouting report, but it's about prepping this team.
Manhattanville, God, if you got them again. But you have not, I believe it goes back to 2019. You've won the last 15 or 16 meetings against Manhattanville.
Been a long time. And that one was the dreaded mini game when we had that format.
I was just going to say, is that the last loss? I'll never forget that, how that game ended. I was there, and I'm sure you won't either.
Yeah,
we had a disallowed goal in that game, too, in the mini game. Of course, you critique that mini game format, and I remember my good friend Danny Close saying, "Why didn't you just win it?"
Yeah.
Well, duh. I was like, if you could have had a V8,
that sounds so easy.
I just would have won if I had a V8 that morning.
Now the national tournament. So you're going to get through. I mean, I hate to look forward. And by the way, Saturday night you win. Saturday night you play for the championship. Hopefully, if you win, you will definitely play in Utica on the 7th, a week from this Saturday. So, do you need to win the conference to get into the NCAA tournament?
Currently, we sit fourth in the poll that not a lot of people see. The selection poll, and we're in firm footing there. We really are. We want to stay in that top four, though. Because then you're hosting a couple rounds of the NCAA's pop. But most likely if you keep winning. So. We love home games. We like the home cook, and we sure would love to. We'd love to stay right there or climb a couple spots. Yep.
I know last year I talked to you about how, and I feel like I'm the jinx. I said, the fact that we have 3,000 fans sitting there, these teams that are coming in, as you had alluded to, they're used to playing with nobody in the arena.
Their girlfriend is in the second row.
It kind of excites them too, and so that home ice advantage kind of bleeds over to the other team. They get to enjoy a little bit of that. But I got to tell you, what I like this year in my head, which is not a hockey head, by the way, and you know that, what I like is the fact that this isn't the team that's just blown everybody out. You're the favored to win it all. I feel like you're playing this second half of the season, you're really playing well, and maybe you've gotten out of this scoring drought, and I feel like you're in a good position to let it all happen, and you could go deep and maybe win it all.
Well, I think potentially we can. I mean, we have the pieces that can win it all. We've put ourselves in this spot, as you know, the last 5-6 years, and
I know.
And it does come down to a bounce or a save or whatever it might be. And, the advice I keep getting is just get in it. One day those bounces will go your way.
Yeah.
We're in it. We sure would love to win a conference championship again. That'll be our focus right now before we turn to the NCAAs. And this little bye game helps us because, as I mentioned, like everybody else in this town, we've been struggling with some leaky noses. So, we gave the guy an extra day off today, and then we'll get right back at it tomorrow and put on a good performance for you guys on Saturday.
Well, listen, maybe, just maybe, you end up playing Manhattanville again. You spread the virus to them. They'll come in sick next week.
Yeah, might have happened.
Love it.
Yeah, playing in that rink, you're getting viruses.
That's right. Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. I can't imagine. All right. Listen, we'll talk later in the week. The key here right now is it is important for us to support these guys, and it's a $12 ticket, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Buy tickets. You can actually go online, pick your own seat, and let's fill the odd for Saturday night.
Love it. Thanks, guys. Great to hear
Gary,
from you.
thanks so much. Head coach Gary Heenan, and this is we've gotten used to it, but this year was a little tougher getting in, and I kind of feel like that might be a good thing. It's just a hunch. It's not worth.
Yeah,
anything.
well, it's the whole where a team, I don't want to say goes undefeated, but you see this in other sports too, where a team has a great year, but they never have that struggle, that desperation, that we need to kick it into the next gear to pull it out right at the end. If you're kind of in cruise control throughout the whole season, you lose that extra gear, it seems, when you go to the postseason. Always great to talk to Gary, by the way. Can I just mention before I forget, and this is old news now, but I was there maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago.
It's cool.
The youngest member of the Manaski family is like Pioneer fan number 1. He goes to all the games. So he's a huge fan. So we were there, like I said, 3 weeks ago, and I got to see they call them dasher boards. They look so sharp.
It is the only rink in North America that has these. And I'm told this is not just AHL, but AHL, NHL. It's the only rink that has those electronic dasher boards. It is the coolest thing.
It looks so sharp.
And when they score,
it looks so sharp.
When they score, it's swirling around.
Yeah, it says goal. It's flashing.
In North America.
In North America, yes, you are correct, Smitty. In North America.
They do not have them in Guatemala either. I'm pretty sure that would be South America. There you go. Pretty cool. And it was a great game on Friday. And
Let's go Pioneers.
Let's go Pioneers.
I still make the mistake, though. Whenever I'm talking off the air, Utica College. I even still Google Utica College hockey.
I got to tell you, when we take this crap seriously. So there's still, when the other team gives up a goal, you still have a group of older guys getting up. You saw that whole chant
I know. I saw that again when I was there, and I thought, man, this has been going on for 30 years here.
It has, and they still do it. And they did it 5 times on Friday night, so it was a really good game. Okay, Saturday, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it's the Pioneers and Geneseo again going at it for a 5th time this year for the championship. We got to get through this weekend though to get there. All right, quick break. Manaski has news. Top of the hour here at 7:57 at WIBX.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually, in fact, true. How would you like up to $4,000 of free windows? And when I say $4,000 of free windows, I mean $4,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $4,000 to get $4,000 free. You just get up to $4,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of these restrictions are income-based, and you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
It's time to stop letting road conditions dictate your journey. Nokian Tires all-weather tires are versatile enough for summer heat, spring rain, and winter snow, allowing you to forget the forecast so you can focus on the road ahead, not the road below. Forget the forecast with a year-round tire approved for winter use. Find Nokian Tires all-weather tires at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
It's been 3 years since Russia invaded Ukraine. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. And as President Trump pushes to end the war, his national security advisor just told Fox.
Frustrations are high, frankly. The United States has stepped forward for Ukraine in a historic and tremendous way.
And Mike Waltz is pushing a deal to let the U.S. share the profits from Ukraine's rare earth minerals that
recoups these hundreds of billions of dollars for the Ukrainian people and for the American taxpayer.
Zelensky's rejected that offer. The president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, saying there's no U.S. security guarantees. He's also offering to resign if there's a peace deal that allows Ukraine to join NATO. Waltz says that is not an option now. Some European leaders are gathered in Ukraine to show support. France's president, though, will go to the White House today.
Emmanuel Macron faces a tall order today, convincing a skeptical President Trump that abandoning Ukraine does not serve the United States' best interest. He is expected to tell President Trump not to appear weak in front of Russian President Vladimir Putin. European leaders are concerned they were not included in the United States' initial talks last week.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. Israeli tanks have rolled into the West Bank, going after terror sites there in what Palestinians are calling a dangerous escalation. Meanwhile, Special U.S. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff will return to the region this week for talks on the next phase of the Gaza ceasefire, telling CBS Face the Nation they want all the hostages out and
a permanent ceasefire, a cessation of all violence, and in addition to that, the fact that Hamas cannot be allowed to come back into the government.
While federal workers scrambled to respond to an email by today demanding they detail their accomplishments at work last week. Doja's Elon Musk posted on X this morning, employees ignoring the Trump order to return to the office will be put on leave this week. Pope Francis remains in critical condition, battling pneumonia and now kidney issues. But the Vatican says the 88-year-old Pope slept the night and is alert. America's listening to Fox News.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela. Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything. But while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
New York's Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul keeps battling President Trump politically, still trying to keep congestion pricing in place in New York City after the president revoked federal approval for the plan last week that charges drivers for entering Lower Manhattan. And that is not all on her agenda.
Governor Hochul said on CBS Face the Nation her sanctions on New York City Mayor Eric Adams' power addresses a perception of the mayor cooperating with the White House in exchange for an end to federal corruption charges against him.
I need to keep an eye on this situation, especially
the way the Trump administration has telegraphed that they want to get into our operations.
Governor Hochul said threats to FEMA funds in California and federal money for Maine over the Trump order on transgender athletes in women's sports will get pushback.
Don't think that you can just come in and bully us around and not expect a reaction from governors.
Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Now, another Trump order declares there are only two genders, male and female. And the president's also pushing to get diversity, equity, and inclusion policies reversed. But in Wisconsin, a Democrat's going the other way.
Governor Tony Evers proposing changing the word mother to inseminated person, father to parent, and paternity to parenthood. The terms husband and wife would be changed to simply spouse. The proposed changes were included in Governor Evers' budget recommendation to state lawmakers, although he didn't mention them when introducing the bill. The Republican Governors Association called the proposal offensive to mothers and said if the changes take effect, then society is lost. Jack Callahan, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stocks may rebound. Dow futures up almost 300 points after a plunge on Friday that was more than double that, a big sell-off. At the gas pump,
the price moved up nearly 7 cents in the past 2 weeks to $3.25.
Analyst Trevely Lundberg surveys stations across the country, and so does AAA. Its national average for regular gas is less than hers, $3.14 a gallon. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Mostly cloudy skies, 28 degrees. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. A nice warm-up coming today. It will linger for most of the week. Full details from Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stajic coming up in just 2 minutes. Well, cleanup efforts continue today at the Barneveld Firehouse, where there was a complete collapse on Saturday afternoon of the roof at the firehouse building. No injuries reported, and firefighters were able to remove all equipment from inside the building before its collapse. Oneida County Sheriff Rob Maciel saying that facility also served as a substation for the Oneida County Sheriff's Office. It's been several weeks since he was nominated, but former Central New York Congressman Brandon Williams still awaiting a confirmation hearing. Williams was selected by President Trump to be the next Undersecretary for Nuclear Security and Administrator of the National Nuclear Security Administration and the Department of Energy. The agency has been in charge of overseeing the country's nuclear arsenal since 2000. Williams previously served as a nuclear submarine officer in the United States Navy. Flags are lowered at half-staff statewide, marking the third anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Those flags will be down from sunrise until sunset before landmarks are illuminated in blue and yellow, which, of course, are the colors of the Ukrainian flag. In central New York, Governor Kathy Hochul says that the New York State Fairgrounds main gate and the Expo Center will be lit up blue and yellow this evening. The governor says New York proudly stands with Ukraine in its fight against Russia's assault. Elon Musk saying all federal workers must report what they did last week or be dismissed. In a social media post, Musk says employees will receive an email requesting information about what they worked on in the last 7 days, and any failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. The move comes as President Trump said he'd like to see Musk be more aggressive in his efforts to slash the federal workforce.
They're also required to do 2 blogs a day.
Hopefully, maybe we
You could just move
take
on.
some calls and get into this after the news here. I did want to share some thoughts on this and Fauci, if we
talk
could.
about it. Okay.
President Donald Trump is announcing Dan Bongino will serve as the next deputy director of the FBI. Trump writing in a post on Truth Social that Bongino was a man of incredible love and passion for our country. Bongino has served in the past as a member of the NYPD and Secret Service, also a former Fox News host. And California Governor Gavin Newsom is asking Congress to approve an additional $40 billion in aid to help Los Angeles recover from January's devastating wildfires. In a letter asking for support from lawmakers, Newsom outlines how the requested funding would be used to rebuild homes, infrastructure, businesses, schools, churches, and healthcare facilities. Estimates of the total economic loss from that firestorm have risen to more than $250 billion. Cloudy skies right now, 28 degrees. It's a slow warm-up to start the day, but we're looking at highs in the mid-40s. Here's your forecast from Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stajic.
Mild weather will continue to build in here over the next couple of days. Most of us near 40 degrees as we head through this Monday with more clouds than sun, especially as the day goes on. Tonight, maybe a passing rain or snow shower, mid-30s. Chance of rain showers tomorrow with a high close to 40 degrees. And Wednesday, mainly cloudy and still near 40. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Cloudy skies, 28 degrees. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:09. All right, in sports, congratulations to the Utica University Pioneers, a 9th straight regular season conference championship, as 2 wins over the weekend helped them secure the UCHC regular season championship again for the 9th time. The Pioneers have a first-round bye in the playoffs. They'll play on Saturday at the Adirondack Bank Center. Tickets are on sale now. Get out there and support the Pioneers.
You know how much these tickets are?
$12.
$12. How do you beat it?
Yeah, it's a great deal, and I'll be there Saturday night.
Great
rooting them on,
entertainment.
so
Yeah, we will too.
Looking forward to it. The Utica Comets 1-1 over the weekend. An interesting story from a former baseball player. A Bucknell University student is $10,000 richer, courtesy of retired Major League star Alex Rodriguez. Rodriguez was at the Bucknell basketball game against Army on Sunday when he stepped up at halftime to take on a successful half-court shot. A-Rod picked up the lucky recipient of $10,000, Owen Garwood, and he twirled him around on the court in celebration and even signed a baseball card for him. Garwood said he would use the money for tuition, donate to charity, and to help out his parents. Preseason baseball over the weekend. The Mets got a win and a split yesterday. But the bigger story, Mets fans were happy to see on just his 3rd pitch in spring training, Juan Soto hit a home run for the Mets. The Yankees were in action as well. What do we have here? They were shut out by the Tigers, but who cares? It's preseason baseball. We all know the Yankees will be in the thick of it once we get towards September.
Yeah.
This doesn't even matter right now.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see Soto with a dinger in his first at-bat.
What do you think about the Yankees coming out on Friday announcing that they're going to allow facial hair, beards?
I personally, people will say it's the times, it's a sign of the times, it's time to move on from that. But I like the tradition, right? They're the only team that still had some type of requirement like this. I don't think it hurt them in recruiting players to come. Like, no one ever said, I don't want to be a Yankee because I can't grow a beard, right? It's the most prestigious franchise in sports history.
If you did,
you were stupid, right? They didn't want you anyway. If you're not going to come here because you can't have a beard, then fine, we don't want you anyway. But whatever, they got rid of it. I saw they had some AI-generated photos of Jeter, Soto, Judge, and somebody else with beards. Maybe it was Posada.
Yeah.
on social media. But I'd be interested to hear if Yankees fans have any concerns about that.
So the back of the New York Post on Saturday, I bought it while I was out, and they had Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge with a big, thick beard on the cover.
Yeah, a nice, big, thick beard. No patchy. You could tell it was AI. It was all AI generated.
I got to say, I hate to see that go. Right,
it's tradition.
It's a tradition, but I'm not sure right now. We're like, if you follow any history, baseball is becoming urban renewal. Urban renewal in the 1960s just took all these beautiful buildings from town and city across America, and they tore them all down for better new buildings that are ugly as hell. And now, today, we're trying to tear those down and put buildings back that look like the original buildings. A good example of that is the courthouse right next to MVHS.
Yeah.
That was built to look like it had been there for 100 years. Beautiful building. And really the construction they've done over at the Odd, at the hospital, all of that stuff is far better today than what we were doing back then. That's what they're doing to baseball. Do you know right now they're testing out the robotic umpire?
Yes. So my understanding is, though,
right now they're doing it only in preseason.
Yeah. So they've done this in the minor leagues, where essentially, look, the technology had been there, and like if you watched a game on ESPN, you would see they had the strike zone, the digital strike zone. So that technology's obviously existed. But I think what you're referring to is they're testing essentially a batter can request, I want you to take a second look at that pitch. I think it was a ball, and you called it a strike. And they have a quick way to do it, and the umpire just taps his hat, and they get within 5 seconds. They'll tell you it was a ball or it was a strike.
Now, can somebody upstairs automatically just overrule? Like sometimes
not to my knowledge.
Oh, because sometimes
not to my knowledge.
So it's going to be up to the batter to be like. I did see that the batters and pitchers seemed to be very confused by this as well, knowing what really is a strike and not. I think that I'd take a pitcher like DeGrom, who works the corners, and if he doesn't get a wider strike zone even when he was at his best, he could struggle because he was counting on those just outside pitches to get that strike. He's not going to get those if you're going with the computer.
Yeah, and if you're just holding to the plate corner to corner, usually you get a ball off a baseball width off the plate because you'll say it brushed the corner, something like that. It'll be interesting to see how this works out. I do think there has to be consistency, and the most egregious one, Greg, is it Kevin Gregg? In a World Series game with the Marlins and it wasn't a World Series, National League Championship, the Marlins and the Braves. Was it Livan Hernandez had like 16 Ks in that game? And if you go back today and you look at the film from that,
they weren't.
I mean, there were pitches that were, a full foot off the plate that he was given to. I think it was Livan Hernandez who was pitching. Who was it? Was it Livan Hernandez? Yeah, it was. Smitty's giving me the nod in there. So it'd be interesting to see. And speaking of umpires, I'll plug it again. Mohawk Valley Umpires Association classes begin tonight, 6 o'clock in the cafeteria at Notre Dame Junior Senior High School. Come on out there. It's really, it's a good time. You're going to sit around with a lot of baseball guys and talk about rules for Federation baseball, New York State high school baseball. So it's.
Have you ever been in a game where
6 o'clock,
where a pitch came in and you didn't see it?
Yeah.
What do you do?
So there was a pitch, if I'm understanding you correctly.
Especially where a pitch comes in and you didn't see where it went. So now you're left. You have to make a call.
Yeah. So not where I didn't see the pitch, but I actually had a game. It was, a matter of fact, at Notre Dame. I believe it was a Legion game. And thank you very much to the head coach of the pitching team. It was a pitch. It was the fat part of the plate. And I don't know if I just choked. I got nervous. I had called other strikes. We were like in the second inning. And I almost started to call it a strike, and I just stopped. And the coach stands up. He's in the dugout, and he goes, "Blue, what's going on?" And I just looked at him, and I patted my chest. And he sat down, and then after the inning, he walked out, and he goes, "What happened?" And I go, "I just kind of got caught up in the moment. I just missed that one." And he goes, "That happens. No problem." Patted me on the shoulder, walked away. I appreciated how kind he was because it was clearly a strike that I called the ball.
Okay.
I clearly missed that one.
Now, the problem comes in if that was like the strike that ended the season.
Yeah,
right?
Top of the last inning, bottom of the last inning.
There's you got a lot of pressure there. There's a lot of stuff going on. I got a bunch of calls. Let me take some calls, and then we'll break, and then I got a lot more to get into here, and you have some opinion on it.
I got to hear from Trump supporters on Fauci because I don't understand this one. I don't understand this, but go ahead.
Here's Mike and Skyler. Hey, Mike, good morning. You're on.
How you doing?
Good.
What's going on, Mike?
I did. I was watching it, too, with one of the games where I think it was the pitcher that argued the thing, and then, of course, the pitch stand. But it is interesting because I think overall, if eventually they do use it, I think it might make the pitchers better pitchers, the hitters better hitters, because it's like they have to be, And also too, I think they said like if you dispute it and you only have two opportunities, and then other than that, if you don't get either one, I think that's it. You can't.
So do you retain? Do you retain your? If you get it right, do you retain it?
I think they're modeling it similar to the NFL's challenges, where if you're right on the challenge, you don't lose it.
Okay.
But if you're challenging plays and it's wrong, now you've lost your challenge.
You might have one that's egregious, and you can't challenge it. Okay.
And not only better pitchers, and better hitters, but better umpires too.
Yeah, they might. Right, it's going to make those umpires know that they got to get it. They got to get it right.
Yeah. And more consistency.
Unless you know that he just blew his 2 challenges, and you're like, all right, you want to treat me like that? Watch this. Strike.
Now
You're
everything's
out.
a strike. Yeah,
that's right.
That's funny.
And I didn't realize too, because first I thought, they're going to do this for the new year, but then they said it was just the spring training. So I don't know when it actually becomes official. It'd be interesting to see when that happens. Also, Bill, I did see 1923 because that was old Yellowstone.
I'm going to tell you, we started to watch that, and I just didn't completely get into it.
1923. What's that? Sounds like the score of a Pittsburgh Steelers game.
It is the. It was actually every score for the Chiefs this year.
Oh, well, that's true too. Yeah.
So
1916, 1918.
Did you like it? Did you like it?
I like the whole first season. We couldn't wait for the new season to come because it's been a while with all the delays and stuff. But we only watched one episode, but so far it's good. I did not like the first episode of The Return of Yellowstone, and the last Yellowstone was the removal of costumes and stuff.
Yeah, but I got to tell you that I didn't like the first episode either, but I got into it and I stuck with it, and we ended up liking the end of that. But
it get better. It get better.
We watched a couple things. The what is the the White Lotus. We watched.
I haven't heard of that.
Episode 1 and 2. Oh, you haven't heard of that? You got to go back and watch it.
Where's that on? That's on. What's that on?
It's on HBO Max.
White Lotus. Okay, I'll check that.
The White Lotus, and we're in season 3, so you'll have 2 seasons to be able to binge watch. And then HBO does it their way, where a new episode comes out at 9:00 every Sunday. And what it used to be like is the app, the Max app.
Yeah.
It used to be. It would show on cable on Sunday night at 9, and then the app would get it the next night. Now it's live on the app. You go, and it's just like you're watching HBO, and it debuts right at 9:00. It's kind of cool. That so far is really good. I like it, and I'm going to tell you something else. Willie Waffle recommended we go watch the Petito.
I watched this last night.
Did you watch all 3?
I got through 2 episodes.
Has she died yet?
No.
Okay.
Maybe I fell asleep in the second one.
Well, you're.
I knew that entering. I knew.
Let me tell you, this is every freaking case where the woman is in love, and now this is a girl. This is a young. She's like 23, 22 years old.
22. Yeah. What I saw.
Wait till you see the outcome of this whole thing about what really happened, and you will remember what was in the news. So that was a big story in the news.
I do remember it from the news standpoint, and one of the things
shocking
that I remembered last night.
So terrible for this family
was
they
had been pulled over after somebody called and said that a man was striking a woman, and they drove off.
So you saw that part?
I saw that part, and she, not to spoil anything here, because I do think this was initially reported, but that she had said, I was frustrated, I had anxiety, I hit him.
Yeah.
And he was also saying she was the aggressor. So then she has to stay in the van for a night.
She stays
and he
in the
gets
van
a hotel room paid for by taxpayers, apparently.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that. And they let it, and if you remember the conversation with the cops, they were like, they had 4 cops deciding, what are we going to do?
How do we handle this?
And one of the cops was like, listen, we could throw the book at this guy, and then the female.
Well, I think they were saying at her. Throw the book at her.
And the female cop said, well, she was really the aggressor. And they're like, but you know what's going to happen is we're going to split these 2 up. And then she's going to be like, no, I'm not pressing charges. I love him. She's going to be right back with him.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what ends up happening.
Yeah.
And it ends very badly. So you'll get to episode 3. It is it's horrible, but it's incredibly compelling. And it's like every other case. You know, you get the person away from that wife beater, and they, you know, love kicks in, nostalgia, memories, and they go right back and they get beat up all over again.
You know, and
I don't understand that, but it happens all the time.
Do you remember the Making a Murderer? Right? These true crime things have become so popular that it's almost like they have a format now, because I want to say some of the other ones I've watched were 5-6 episodes. If you look on Netflix now, they've got a whole string of them. They're all 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah.
It's a condensed version.
Don't watch so you had the Curious Case of Natalie Grace.
I haven't seen that, but I just saw a promo. I know nothing about that.
Watch that. You got to watch that. But don't watch the spinoff, which is the Curious Case of, where they go out and get different cases. That's awful. I wouldn't watch that.
Since the COVID, what was the first one with the lion? The lion.
Tiger Daddy or something.
That was
Tiger
another
King.
one.
Tiger King.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the first ones since when the COVID. Since COVID.
Paul Buckley this morning says, watch Zero Day. It's awesome. It is on Netflix. Highly recommended.
Good morning, sweetheart.
All right, Michael. Thank you, man.
Can I say one last thing?
Sure.
Last thing. I'm watching for the first time, and it's funny because it's like a brand new one, but it's not. But when they had the SNL 50 years, right? On Peacock, if you have Peacock, all of the actual episodes right back in 1975 are out there. So I'm watching them from the beginning because I was only 3 years old when they came out, right? So I didn't watch it back then. But I'm telling you, it's kind of neat. You see the musicians that come on there, and they were funny. I don't know if you watched that, years ago. And stuff,
I did, and we went down that rabbit hole a little bit. And we're watching a lot of episodes this month. Even some of the more controversial ones. And the year that was supposedly so bad that SNL almost got canceled in the 80s. I mean, you can go in and watch those episodes. The time Sinead O'Connor ripped up the Pope. I mean, all of those episodes are there for you to watch. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
But Gilda Radner, I tell you, she, it's amazing. And
she was something.
She was funny. Yeah. She was funny. And I didn't realize this, but when she passed away, Barbara Walters said that Gilda Radner was actually, because she did a mock of Barbara Walters.
Yeah,
Baba Wawa.
Yeah. And Barbara Walters said that she was the first person to actually mimic like a news anchor like that, and now it's done all the time.
Yeah, it's done.
But she was really the first, and it was funny. Wow.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Good stuff.
Have a good day.
Later, man.
Here is it's Mayor Mike Galimi from you saw the mayor. I saw you at the game on Friday night, the Pioneers game. Good morning, Mayor.
Hello, Bill.
Oh, I thought it was the mayor. I was going to say we got to get Doge in there. 10%.
Yeah.
Is that what they settled on?
Yeah.
Did it come down?
9.98 or something like that.
Okay.
Single digits. Single digits.
Boy, they got in there with a pocket knife, huh?
Yes. All right. Stephen, what do you have? I'm sure you're really excited over Juan Soto.
Yes, I am. Also, I was at Clark Athletic Center on the Utica University campus on Saturday, and the men's basketball team is in the Empire 8 conference semifinals now. They play Naz on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Saturday. They played Houghton, and they beat them. So now they're in the semifinals of the Empire 8 Conference semifinal.
All right. Very cool. So go Pioneers.
Go Pioneers hockey and basketball, men's basketball.
All right. Very cool. All right, Stephen. Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Have a great day. And if you're dreaming of a home makeover this summer, New York Sash has you covered with 50% off the installation of siding. Whether you're into sleek, modern designs or classic charm, they have the perfect look for you with hundreds of colors, textures, and styles to choose from. And it gets better. Free design services to make sure everything is just right. and they'll even help you with financing to fit your budget. So why wait? Get that beautiful home you've been picturing and turn the house that you have into the envy of the neighborhood. Head to New York Sash today and get your home a facelift just in time for summer. Go to NewYorkSash.com or stop by the showroom on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. Tons of options right there on display, and take advantage of 50% off siding installation at New York Sash, where their family takes care of your family. 828 Manaski with an update coming right up.
This is Anthony Constantino, CEO of Sticker Mule. I'm a proud Trump supporter, running for Congress for the seat being vacated by Elise Stefanik. I built a successful internet company with nearly 1,000 people in upstate New York. However, much of upstate New York suffers from lack of access to high-speed internet that's necessary to build great companies and enable high-paying remote jobs. In fact, much of our district lacks access to strong, dependable cell phone service too. Of course, we must have both for public safety and to grow the economy. When elected to Congress, I will work quickly with President Trump to fix this problem. With high-speed internet, dependable cell service, and by renewing President Trump's tax cuts, both for businesses and individuals, we will create jobs and return economic prosperity to upstate New York. Follow me, Anthony Constantino, on Facebook today to learn more about my plans to make New York great again. I'm Anthony Constantino, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Constantino for Congress.
Hungry for something new? Discover Chef's Express, a bakery on a mission. Nestled in downtown Utica at 241 Genesee Street, they serve your favorite baked goods, mouth-watering breakfast sandwiches, savory lunches, and delicious desserts, plus catering options for your event. And every bite at Chef's Express helps people with disabilities in our community thrive. Stop in Monday through Friday or visit chefsexpressutica.com. That's Chef's Express. Great food with a greater purpose.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
It's Brian Kilmeade.
Here's the deal on J.D. Vance. 9 things that you're not going to like about it. Not even a moment to say, hey, now your ticket's formed. It's going to be a great 4 months. Let's have at it in a civil way. That would have been a normal thing to do. Is the staff missing the moment? Are they that bad? Do they think the only way to win is to create tension, make the other guys look unelectable still?
Brian Kilmeade. Weekday mornings at 9 on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
We have cloudy skies, 29 degrees, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:32. Well, today marks 3 years since Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The nation has been heavily dependent on U.S. military aid in resisting Moscow, but that aid may soon be gone under the Trump administration and its soldiers facing exhaustion. Russia currently controls about 20% of Ukraine's territory at the cost of hundreds of thousands killed or wounded. Elon Musk says all federal workers must report what they did last week or be dismissed. In the social media post, Musk saying employees will receive an email requesting information about what they worked on in the last 7 days, and any failure to respond will be taken as resignation. The move comes after President Trump said he'd like to see Musk be more aggressive in his efforts to slash the federal workforce. California Governor Gavin Newsom asking Congress to approve an additional $40 billion in aid to help Los Angeles recover from January's devastating wildfires. In a letter asking for support from lawmakers, Newsom outlines how the requested funding would be used to rebuild homes, infrastructure, businesses, schools, churches, and healthcare facilities. Estimates say the total economic loss from that firestorm have risen to more than $250 billion. And just 5 minutes a day of light exercise could cut your risk for dementia. A new study from the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health found that 35 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity each week was linked to a 41% lower risk of dementia over a 4-year period. The risk continued to drop the more that people got out and exercised. So some good news there. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:34. Here's your forecast from Weather Channel meteorologist Ray Stajic. A nice warm-up coming as we get through here the week and head toward the month of March.
Mild weather will continue to build in here over the next couple of days. Most of us near 40 degrees as we head through this Monday with more clouds than sun, especially as the day goes on. Tonight, maybe a passing rain or snow shower, mid-30s. Chance of rain showers tomorrow with a high close to 40 degrees. And Wednesday, mainly cloudy and still near 40. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, cloudy, 31 at 8:35.
Let me bring in Tanya J. Powers from Fox News Radio. Tanya, good morning.
Good morning.
We are here, believe it or not, I can't believe it's been 3 years. The 3-year anniversary of when Ukraine started the Ukraine-Russian war. I don't, it's, well, listen, we know Russia started this war. I don't know what is going on. No one could admit that over the weekend on the Sunday programs. It was driving me crazy. Nonetheless, it's the 3-year anniversary of this thing, and so many people have died. So much destruction in Ukraine. I mean, it's really terrible.
Yes, and you are correct. It is the 3rd-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, posted a short video that praised Ukrainians for their sacrifices. He honored those who have died. There are no major events planned today in Ukraine for this. It's basically a somber day to remember those who have been lost in the war. There are a couple of other things I want to get because there's so many moving parts. It's like a choose your own adventure story here because you've got over the weekend, President Zelensky saying that he would step down if Ukraine would be allowed to join NATO.
Yeah, I saw that.
Not sure how serious he is about that, but he seemed serious at the time. This is, of course, opposed by Russia as well as the Trump administration, Ukraine joining NATO. The president of Ukraine also announced plans for a major summit of European leaders today. He said more than 30 countries would be participating in that. Some of them are going to be in Kyiv in person to show solidarity. Some are going to be virtual as kind of a coalition of support. The UN resolutions, that's the other thing going on today.
Right.
So you have these 2 non-binding UN resolutions. One of them is from the U.S. that basically mourns the loss of life, hopes for a swift end to the conflict. The other one is a lot more pointed. It's from Ukraine. It's been prepared by Ukraine and EU member states, and it calls for de-escalation. It also calls for it reaffirms the commitment to Ukraine's sovereignty, independence, unity, and territorial integrity within its internationally recognized borders. It also reiterates the demand for Russia to immediately, completely, and unconditionally withdraw all its military forces from Ukraine. That draft resolution, as of earlier today, had about 57 co-sponsors. The U.S. draft, the General Assembly resolution, was co-sponsored by Georgia and Hungary. So it kind of gives you an idea of how things are aligning, who's picking whose side, basically. And both of these are non-binding resolutions, like I said. So that's expected today. There's also a Security Council high-level briefing on Ukraine today, this afternoon, as a matter of fact.
My take on this whole thing, I think we cannot forget the importance of, you have Russia, Iran, North Korea, China. One of the things that has come out of this war with Ukraine is Russia has been weakened tremendously. Their inflation rate is well over 20%. They're struggling getting goods and services in that country right now. They are feeling the pain. This is what the previous administration, if there's anything they did right, it was they were on the right side of this and maybe got into it even a little bit late, and we could have been in a better position. But Ukraine has basically has really weakened Russia to the point where it does make the world a safer place. And if we just cave in to Russia's demands, this is not good for the security of the United States. This is what this is all about. I do not understand what the current policy is about. It just blows my mind. I know I'm not trying to drag you into this, Tanya, but I just don't understand what I witnessed over the weekend, where key members of President Trump's administration could not admit that Putin started the war. What is going on here? I don't understand it. Sorry.
Yeah, that is you're not alone in that head scratching sort of moment, wondering how if we've basically flipped our foreign policy position as far as Russia goes from the last several decades, and you're not the only one pointing that out and asking a lot of questions about it.
Yeah. All right. I know you're past the time, and I get going, and you have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sure. Thanks
so much, Tanya. Jay Powers from Fox. But you understand what I'm saying here?
I absolutely do.
What are we doing here?
Can I just say personally, I think so many things that Trump is doing, I support. There's a number of other things that I just don't understand. This is one of them. I mentioned earlier, if I could bring this up, the Fauci thing. I don't understand going after him, whether he was pardoned and whether you can say that's an admission of guilt or an acknowledgement that he did something wrong.
Pardon is not an admission of guilt.
Well, that's what some people seem to think.
It's wrong. They're wrong. They've just chosen a side. Listen, go forward in your life and be a parrot. If that's what you want to be, if you want to just repeat everything that a certain politician says and that becomes the gospel, then God, I don't know what in the hell happened to you. Whatever happened to you having your own mind, because there are too many people in America today that don't have their own mind. All that has to happen is President Trump says A, B, and C, and you're quacking like a parrot. Do parrots quack? Do parrots quack? I don't know.
Well, if Trump says they do,
apparently they do. Give me a freaking break. How about using your own mind? How about for one moment using your own mind? Do you think you have that ability? Probably not. Give me a break.
Stuff with the border and the fentanyl stuff, 1000% behind that. I still remember this. It's only a few weeks ago, but there was a gentleman from, I believe he was from Kenya, who was saying, "Where's Biden? Where's Biden?" The guy had been accused of assault with a deadly weapon. He had been convicted of selling drugs, and they were deporting him. There's a lot of things going on, I think, that are great, but some of the stuff you go, what is he doing?
And do you know what has happened since all of this has happened? Is the number of people coming to cross over into the United States has almost dropped to zero.
Yeah.
So because the Biden administration clearly gave the green light saying, well, we're going to be humane. Sometimes there has to be a little hurt for people to understand that you mean business. And that policy you have to, I don't know how you can disagree with it. Those people aren't flooding into this country right now.
Right.
That is a bonus. If he would have concentrated on that and putting his tax deal together and not all this other ridiculous stuff, you're saving, even the stuff that Elon Musk is doing, you're saving less than 1% of our budget. And just think of a couple of days, cut your trip short to the Super Bowl, cut your trip short to Indy 500, do a teleconference they'll put you on the big screen. You would have saved far more than you've just saved by firing all of these people. And the other part of this that I do not understand is how are we looking at these people who are being fired as being criminals and people committing fraud. These are long-time servants of this country, the people who are doing the real work. These are not the politicians out in the front. These are the people doing the work. And just because the president says they found fraud, these people are corrupt, this is a terrible organization, where's the proof? In this country, there's due process. And apparently that's not what we're seeing right now. So be a parrot. If that's what you're okay with, you be a parrot. Otherwise, start questioning your government. It's what you should have done during the Biden administration. It's what you should be doing right now. Otherwise, you get the government you deserve.
Yeah.
I got a break. Hold tight. We're coming right back at WIBX.
It's time to stop letting road conditions dictate your journey. Nokian Tires all-weather tires are versatile enough for summer heat, spring rain, and winter snow, allowing you to forget the forecast so you can focus on the road ahead, not the road below. Forget the forecast with a year-round tire approved for winter use. Find Nokian Tires all-weather tires at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team now. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get pay that's based on your experience, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
Are you a CDPAP home care user or caregiver? Now's the time to switch to PPL and ensure a smooth transition. It's fast and easy. Over the phone, online, at an in-person or virtual session, or with a CDPAP facilitator. Call PPL at 833-247-5346. That's 833-247-5346. Visit pplfirst.com/CDPAP. Register today. A message from the New York State Health Department.
If you're looking for flooring, boy, do I have the perfect place for you. This is Bill Keeler, and I highly recommend in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, the area's leading flooring store. They have the absolute largest inventory in central New York, and it's a brand new store at the Route 49 Plaza in Marcy. And if you're looking for Pergo Extreme, they have a price guarantee anywhere in the area within a 60-mile radius of their store. It's a pretty awesome deal, and you know you're going to get the best deal at Inserras. Log on to their website at InserrasFlooringOutlet.com and sign up to save $50 off your next purchase of $500 or more. You can shop online or in the store. You will not find a better selection than Inserras Flooring Outlet. See why more people buy from the big store. Its selection, its price, and it's a 6-month interest-free financing. Log on to the website, InserrasFlooringOutlet.com, and see for yourself or visit their store. Inserras Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road in Marcy.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on SingleCare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to SingleCare.com or download the free app today.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Monaski, I blame you. You didn't have to bring it up, but you ended up bringing it up. Got me talking about politics. Now everybody's pissed. It's all because of you, Monaski. You freaking piece of garbage. Yeah, it's Ulanaski. You break it with a piece of carpet. I sometimes don't know where that song is going.
So, great ad lib there, by the way. And if you're that mad, I can just call in tomorrow if you want. It's a joke. It's a joke.
No, I need you.
Somebody texted me and said, you voted for this, and you're right, I did vote for this, and a lot of it I do agree with. Like I pointed out, there's a lot of good stuff I think going on that the last administration, completely dropped the ball on, that they did a horrible job with. I just think that you should always question your government, no matter who's in control, and there's a pendulum. And if you think the Democrats went too far, way too far with the pendulum, what you have to be careful of is the Republicans going way too far on the return. So can we just, as we said many times, get the 80% of America that's in the middle on most issues and govern that way instead of going extreme one way or extreme the other? And that's the last I'll say about it because I can't. My mailbox is blowing up now.
Are you carrying my water now? Because I've been carrying,
I love it.
I've been carrying Pacentis and Griffos and.
Well, I can carry your water, but I can't carry all the water that you carry water for other people. All the other people's water that you carry.
Well, I don't have to carry Sheriff Machel's water. He's a big guy. He carries his own. And he's on the line right now, Sheriff Rob Machel. Good morning.
Good morning. I just caught the tail end of that, so I don't know what you guys are talking
about. We're not going to drag you into this nonsense.
You are better off. One of the things, though, that we were talking about is a lot of these this tough position on illegal immigration, illegal immigrants coming across the border. It's almost, at least on the southern border, it's almost down to zero. I don't know that it's done much on the northern border because that's a problem up there.
It is. There's a lot of wide open area. I mean, I'm talking wide open area. You get into Clinton County and some of the other border counties to the north, and illegal crossings are a significant issue for residents up there. Not like in massive numbers, but just from speaking with my colleagues, the sheriffs on the northern border counties, people literally will have people showing up at their door that clearly have come across the border. And again, these are people we know little to nothing about, and it's definitely a concern for everybody.
Yeah.
And we should be concerned, but not to the tune of, thousands and thousands of people a day.
No, nothing like that. No.
But we should still take it seriously.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that we have, but the southern border has really almost shut off, and it gives us a chance to rethink this whole thing and figure it out. There are, certainly, there's a great need for people who come to this country and come here legally, and there's a great need for them when it comes to certainly in agriculture. It's needed tremendously. A good part of their workforce comes from people who, regular Americans aren't willing to do that work today. I don't know why, but we're not.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said before, more than 50% of agricultural labor it's a migrant workforce, and a lot of these people come here legally on seasonal allowables. But you take a dairy farm, unlike a crop farm where they only need people to come in for seasons to pick strawberries or pick beans or whatever it may be.
Yes.
A dairy farmer needs help, 365 days a year. There's no season. Cows still have to be milked 2 or 3 times a day, every day, nonstop. You can't skip a beat. And 50% of the workforce on dairy farms in New York and across America are migrant workers, and that's a concern for farmers.
So, but can I ask for clarification? Now, this was my understanding based on a conversation that I had with a farmer, and as a matter of fact, I went to a local hotel, if you will, and there was a busload of migrant workers who were leaving for that particular season. This is when I was still here as a reporter. They don't just come across and drop off their application at dairy farms. There is some advanced coordination where the farmer says, okay, I'm going to need, let's say I'm going to need 30 workers for the next 4 months. And there's some advanced coordination. This isn't just try to sneak your way in and then drop off an application at the farm and hopefully he'll call you back.
Correct. I don't know the answer, but I think you're right.
Yeah.
You are correct, Jeff, but the issue is a lot of them, like I said, there's expiration on these stays and on the paperwork. The work on the farms doesn't stop, and these people, you ask any of these farmers, these people have incredible work ethic. They're incredible work ethic, and they're making decent money. These farmers are actually competing against one another sometimes because the workers go from the higher, the lower paying farm. They hear a farm up the road's paying more, they'll go there. But the problem is their paperwork is expired, so that's a concern for the farmers. There's not enough of there's not enough of them to keep the farms running. That's the
thing that kills me about this story is that the state came in and said these people are working too many hours. Well, right. this by the way, if you know of a farmer, then you know that I grew up with friends who were farmers, and while we're all going out on a Saturday night, they can't go out for the weekend because they got to be home in the morning, or they're in the middle of haying, or there's something going on their farm where they just can't walk away from it. And so they work long, long hours. And these workers said, please don't help us. We don't want the limitation.
We don't need your help,
So, but New York, of course, just like we've done when it comes to the HALT Act and in our jail systems, the New York's legislature just plowed right forward. So now what you have, Sheriff, correct me if I'm wrong, you'll have an immigrant worker or a migrant worker who will work the limit, whether it's 30 hours a week, and then they'll go to another farm and put in another 30 or 40 hours so that they get the amount of work they feel they need. That's how they're getting around the laws that are, quote, supposed to protect them.
That's exactly what's happening. It's happening, without a doubt. Because, again, these folks they're taking the money and they're sending it back to their home country. And as you know, our money is worth significantly more money than what we're talking about. And that's exactly what they're doing. So it's very, very frustrating. It's very frustrating.
And the one farmer I talked to said that the people that work on his farm, and it's a large farm, they have kids. The kids go to school. They pay their way. They're working many, many hours, and they're worrying, what are we going to do if we lose these people? So this is a very complex issue.
It is complex.
However, you come to the country legally, and if you're a criminal in this country and you're an illegal, you gotta go.
Yes.
And I completely support that. So, okay.
And that's exactly what's happening with ICE and the federal agencies. Their enforcement is targeted. They want to get the bad people, the gang members, the people smuggling drugs. That's what their focus is. So, I want to put people at ease a little bit there because everyone's concerned about collateral arrest.
Yeah.
You show up to arrest a gang member and there's, a half a dozen farm workers. Are they going to be going too? And I've been assured that their focus right now is targeted to the bad people. So.
Yeah, and this is another example where politicians make decisions without talking to the people on the ground, just like in our prison system, without talking to the ICE, the people who are on the ground dealing with this.
Well, I could go back to Governor Cuomo's administration with the SAFE Act.
Yeah.
I mean, not once did they have law enforcement at the damn table.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about illegal guns and gun regulations and stopping gun crime. Why wouldn't you have law enforcement, prosecutors, and public defenders and defense? Let's bring the experts to the table. But, of course, we did not do that in New York. We just did the opposite.
Yeah. All right, Sheriff, we're having you on not for this topic. However, we appreciate...
We are solving all the world's problems.
Your knowledge. We have solved all the problems. One more time, I got about a minute here. One more time, if you could, on these barns that are collapsing because of heavy, heavy snow.
It's not just barns, but yes, we had two. There's been several over the past 2 weeks, but two yesterday, one in the town of Western, one in the town of Lee. Cattle lost in both. Obviously, earlier in the weekend, Barneville Firehouse down. I've just received word. I haven't received confirmation, but received word that a municipality close by lost a building just a short time ago, another collapse on a municipal building. And I saw on Facebook a local fire department up in the northern part of the county looking for volunteers to get out to shovel their roof. So it's a real problem, and everyone is panicking, rightfully so. I just hope that the thaw that we're supposed to get, we get it. I don't know. I mean, I'm in my truck now. It's 27 degrees, so I don't know where the 40-degree weather is, but hopefully it gets here in 2 hours. So
let's hope.
Just to offer some relief. But check on your neighbors, folks that got big buildings. Check your infrastructure. Check to see if you see anything that's compromised. Just vacate the building and call for help.
Okay, Sheriff, we appreciate your time out there, and if you have the ability to get out there and help someone who needs their roof shoveled off, or even there are people right now up there that older people that might not even have their sidewalk shoveled. If you can help, help a neighbor, we're really good at that around here. Okay.
The other thing that we're seeing is when these roofs do clear, now doorways are blocked because of stuff sliding off the roof. So check on your neighbors. Please, folks, check on your neighbors.
Sheriff, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Have a great day.
Sounds good. Bye-bye.
All right, Sheriff Rob Mashel and Manasseh, glad to have you back. You come in, you start trouble. Now you go off and deliver packages.
Can I come back tomorrow?
Yes, please do.
Fine, I'll come back.
We appreciate you being here to fill in. Listen, we got to go. And it is going to warm up. And, we're not there yet, but 45, 46 degrees today. It's going to be pretty nice. I don't know about nice, but it's going to be warmer.
It's good, yes. For me, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to get out there and be warm.
You can drive with
first time in a month
with your door open, right?
Yes.
All right, we have Kilmeade and news all coming up next here on a Monday morning. Enjoy your day at WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
It's been 3 years now. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Since Russian leader Vladimir Putin started waging war in Ukraine,
a peaceful nation was invaded with no reason except Putin's imperial obsession.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen showing her support in Ukraine today. Fox's Alex Hogan's also there.
Memorials are underway, and a group of European leaders and dignitaries have arrived here in Kyiv for that grim anniversary. Today, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said this, quote, writing, 3 years of resistance, 3 years of gratitude, 3 years of absolute heroism of Ukrainians.
And that's not all Zelensky's saying.
This weekend, he told reporters he would step down if that meant peace or a NATO membership.
But National Security Advisor Mike Waltz tells Fox this morning,
I do not see the United States having Ukraine enter into NATO.
And Waltz keeps pushing an offer Zelensky has said no to, letting the U.S. share the profits of Ukraine's rare earth minerals as payback for all the American military aid sent to help battle Russia.
This could mean trillions, not only for the Ukrainian people, but for us and for stability for the region. And that economic investment is one of the best security guarantees that Ukraine could hope for.
And today, President Trump will host France's president at the White House to discuss how to end the war and talk trade amid Trump tariff threats. A lot of federal workers are on deadline to respond to an email today detailing their accomplishments on the job last week. And Fox's Peter Ducey reports from the White House.
Remote work for people that work for the federal government is now